getting that on a Thursday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202 Your Time Check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex show. Rolex jeweler. The show.
I wish it was officially licensed Rolex show.
I mean, we would all...
I could use a little bit of an upgrade, Kerry.
I jumped over the jeweler part to get to... We have a great show for you today.
You think we can get them to
Rolex?
Clarkson Jewelers? Yeah. Just
show up with Rolex.
You know how, like,
let me ask
when
you,
people go to the red carpet, they get jewelry from certain jewelers and
then they have to give it
dresses
back.
or, you know, certain attire.
Yeah.
You think maybe when we come on, we can get some Rolex watches to...
It never hurts to ask.
Air Alliance.
There you go.
Cam, you know, we can be on here.
Yeah.
How like Shador Sanders was, you know.
You ever have a Rolex, Kerry?
Well, funny story.
I got one too, so go ahead.
When I went to Mexico when I was about 12, yes. Bought one there.
You got a Rolex, did you?
Yeah. My first one.
When you were 12?
Yeah, I used to go to...
There's a fake one.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I know, but when you were 12,
He knew what he wanted.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
Used to go to San Diego and then go down across the border. I saw one of these shops. They said, we got Rolex. I said, well, let me see. How much is it? $25.
That's a great deal.
It's not bad.
Thanks. So, yeah.
Your wrist was green the next day, but that's fine.
It didn't change. It didn't turn green.
No?
Nah.
Who told you? Like, that's not a Rolex.
Oh, I knew it wasn't real Rolex.
When it was like
$25.
the same weight as a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right.
But it looked good, and I was 12. You know.
That's good.
Sure.
Good.
So I had to watch, I don't know, it was a crappy kind of watch, but I remember I had it. I went home after my first season playing in the NHL. All my buddies like, whoa, look at the watch. Hey, you think you can get a real watch, you know? I was like, hey, okay. So I was like, screw you guys. So I walk into like the jewelry shop and like Tag, you know, like the Tag Hue or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Beautiful watch. And I see one that's like the silver and gold mix, all this stuff. I was like, right there, I'm going to take that one. It was like $6,000. I was like, let's go. Put it up. Put it on my wrist. Go out that night with the boys. I'm like, what's up? What's up? What's up? They're like, oh, man, what a watch. What a watch. That's awesome. End up partying our faces off. And then I end up at a hotel. And because I wasn't used to wearing the watch, I took it off and then forgot to put it back on. Left said hotel. And... yeah, somebody has had a nice watch for a really long time now. It just hasn't been me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sucks.
So since that moment, after that, I was like, I'm never buying an expensive watch again. No.
Did you even bother calling the hotel?
Oh, yeah.
And they gave you the, we find stuff all the time. We'll get the cleaning crew to look for it.
Yeah, and like the other people that were in the room, and nobody. No idea.
I didn't know you had a watch.
Nothing.
You took your watch off? Sorry.
Yeah. Should have kept it on, I guess, but damn it. Anyways.
So the Cardinals are off today. They dropped 2 of 3 against the Tigers, but did the Tigers show us how far the Cardinals are from being a contender, or maybe how close they are, depending on how you're looking at things, Jamie?
Yeah. This one here, I kind of was like, I was upset that they lost the series, but then at the same time, I was like, you know what? Like, if the Tigers right now are the measuring stick, and they are one of the best teams in baseball record-wise anyways, Cardinals fared pretty good, man. They were not embarrassed. They had a lot of great things that went on in this series. And so to me, it's how far are you from being one of the teams that we're no longer talking about, well, they're great in the NL Central.
Right.
You know, how far are the Cardinals from being a great National League team or league-wide team? And they had a chance to prove it against the Tigers in this series. They had been playing really good baseball leading into that series, coming off a hell of a road trip, mind you. Playing some good teams on the road, too. Come back, you lose 2 or 3 to the Tigers. But you weren't embarrassed. So this team, I think, is closer than what people think it is. Now it's up to the front office, in my opinion, to figure out what the next pieces are that make sense to move the ball forward with this team to get them to that spot to where they're the automatic NL Central winner again, you know?
Are you, when you say that, are you asking that for like this season, or are you asking that for like next off season and beyond?
Both.
Okay.
So this season, I don't think the Cardinals can get there this season.
Sure.
Because what are they going to do? The trade deadline, like, they may not do anything at the trade deadline because they're focusing on next year and the year after. Kind of like Doug Armstrong last year. Didn't really do anything of value, kind of let it ride. And then looking at this year, again, didn't really do much. Again, didn't want to disrupt the group. Could have added. He had every opportunity because Colton Parayko was going to be out for an extended period of time. Could have added, for sure. Didn't. Wrote it out. Obviously, the team had some success. But now moving into next season, now Army kind of knows where we're at. Like, we're a playoff team. Now if I add pieces X, Y, and Z, or X and Y, we're no longer just a playoff team. We're top 3 in the division. Mm-hmm. And then the year after that, maybe we're the best in the division. I think that's where the Cardinals are right now, is they're looking at how they've fared overall this season, and then how they've played against good teams, whether they've won or lost. In this series in particular, they lost the series, fine. But now moving forward, I think they have a really good idea of what they have and also what they might need.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're trending in the right direction. I was going to ask you guys, is there any concern that they've lost 3 of the last 4? Not anyone? Anyone?
Because they've been competitive, I'm with Jamie. I think that they're probably ahead of where I thought they were. They're definitely ahead of where I thought they were.
Probably ahead of where they thought they would be.
Probably.
Like, I do think
they're more competitive.
They are.
Than I thought they were going to be.
I think the lineup has done a great job. I think that's probably one of the biggest surprises. Like, you didn't think Victor Scott would have the impact that he did. You didn't think Brendan Donovan, for as great as he's been in the Cardinal uniform, you didn't think he would be batting over 300 and playing at that high of a level. Lars Newbar's leading the team in home runs. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but he is.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well,
why not him?
You would prefer that be somebody that's batting 3rd, 4th, or 5th, maybe? Yeah, possibly.
Sure.
Yeah, just put him there. But yeah, they've done it's been exciting to watch, and I don't know that exciting is the adjective that I would have used coming into this Cardinals season.
Yeah.
Like, nerve-wracking, worried, unsure, uncertain are probably better words to describe what I thought.
Going into this year?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this is
everything you just said.
It's been exciting, right? You're like, holy crap, they can win games.
Yeah.
And they can be down in games, and they can actually still win games.
This is what happens, too, when the expectations are low. Let's just be real. The expectations were low coming into this season. So the fact that
promise and over
maybe yours, Anthony.
Yours, too.
All of ours. The Cardinals being 27-23 when the expectations are low, it just feels better. It feels like it's
but the product
bigger.
Looks better, too.
Exactly. The product is different now. They are more competitive. It's explainable. When you watch them play, you're like, okay, they're pitching well, keeping the ball in the yard, keeping the ball on the ground. Bullpen was a huge issue in April. Got a couple of guys solidified some roles. Next thing you know, bullpen's no longer a weakness. And offensively, they have multiple ways to win games. It's not just hit a home run or wait for that home run and live and die by the slug. They're hitting doubles. They're manufacturing runs. They're very good on the base pass, and the defense has been elite.
Some would say they remind me of the 80s Cardinals.
Some would say.
One would say. And then others would say, no way in hell, Jamie.
Yeah.
But
you can explain why they're 27-23 and not have any hiccups. It's not like, I don't know.
I don't know how they're doing it, man. Yeah.
And it feels like the other shoe's going to drop.
Let me ask you a question about all this. And with Chaim Bloom, nobody knows right now. Like, with John Mozeliak, I know the answer to this question already. With Chaim Bloom, I don't know. From a front office standpoint, when they look at this team, the team, I don't care what anybody says in that front office, this team is exceeding expectations right now. Mm-hmm. They can tell you anything that they want to say. Well, we knew it was maybe a possible. No, you didn't. You basically, you were going to let this team just have a season and figure it out. But now, do you think the front office is already in off-season mode, knowing like what will be available that can help this team? Or do you think, or does the John Mozeliak model just continue to where you grab some scotch tape from somewhere else and throw it into this group and hope it works?
I think that they'll continue.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Like, do they keep moving the ball forward, or do they just kind of leave it and hope that it moves forward on its own?
No, yeah, I don't think it's that. I think they'll, but I also don't, and I hope that I hold myself accountable in the offseason when this happens. When they don't rush to sign somebody for $250 million, I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, you didn't capitalize on last year. You didn't capitalize on the momentum.
And that's excessive. I'm not talking about that.
Right. I do think that they'll look to move it forward, but they've already been on. Let's not forget, we always crush the Cardinals for saying one thing and doing another, or overhyping something and then having it not come out. Like, they have said that we're going to be a player development team. Organization top to bottom, draft, develop. So we can't really be pissed off if, let's just say they win the NL Central this year, and then they go into the next offseason. They make a couple of small moves, but they really are just draft and development. They have told us this is the route they're going.
But finally they've told us.
Okay, but we can't be pissed off now,
I'm not
though.
mad at it. I'm just asking.
If they're telling us, hey, this is how it's going to be.
If they actually, following this season, if they get into the playoffs or just barely miss, if they're playing meaningful games in the last week of the season, does this team look to add a piece because they go, we're close enough now, it's time to add some things? Like, I'm not talking about Ohtani. I'm talking about,
I think that's going to come at a trade deadline.
Okay.
At some point.
Okay.
Not this trade deadline.
What is the addition? Like, if this team
pitching?
Where?
Starter.
For who?
Well, Michaelis.
For the Cardinals.
God damn it. This guy.
Well, you did ask a pretty simple question.
You gave me the answer I was more looking for.
Answer.
All right, Michaelis.
For which player?
Look, is Andre Pallante... Andre Pallante's been very good. Are you telling me you can't upgrade on Pallante?
No, you can. But Michaelis is the guy because you're moving on from him anyways.
Michaelis and Fetty.
Yeah.
Okay, but you already have two other dudes waiting in the wings down in Memphis.
That's why I brought up Pallante.
But, Andrew, if you can get your hands on an already major league pitcher that
for
falls
sure.
in that category.
We're talking about the trade deadline when you know your team is like there.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know if that would happen though. Anytime soon.
No, it might be a little while.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Don't just look at the offseason and say and gauge whether or not they're going for it, quote unquote. I think this is going to come. The going for it part will come at the deadline at some point.
I think for me, with this group in particular, I would be more excited to see extensions in like the Braves model for the guys that are already here, more so than going out and getting like a middle tier player.
That's what they have, but that's the moment.
what
I
they
think
have
you're going
been
to have to
doing.
do both.
I don't think so because we're already talking about like where's this guy going to play? Where's
Yeah.
that guy going to play?
So you're extending all the
Trade
players.
some people.
I'm not extending all of them.
But that's my point, is then target the area that you need, and you don't extend certain players in that area, and then you go get something.
You always need something.
I
You
think
will. You'll always. Even contenders need something. You'll always need it.
I wonder, and because of all of the players that they have available, and we talked to BT about this yesterday, with Herrera being the DH and Pages being, the better catcher behind the plate. Like, some of these players don't get the opportunities. Like, you're going to have to, at some point, that hard decision, and I do think it's a hard decision whenever you decide to trade someone or move on from someone. I wonder at what point that part comes up, where that conversation starts to be had, and maybe those are the pieces at the trade deadline that you're like, okay, we have an abundance of this position. We probably need to move on.
Yeah.
And hopefully that, we get something good in return. We wish the best for that player, but we need to move on from this specific
It'll
person.
become clear at that point what it is you need.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
What's wrong though with having depth and telling those players this is your role, this is what you're going to be?
That's what happened to Libertor.
This is what you are for us right now.
Yeah.
Because injuries will happen, and if you start trading some of these guys away, and you don't have depth, well then, what are we doing here?
I'm more answering the question that Jamie posed, which is that when they're ready, will they make a big move? I think when they know, hey, we've got a really good team. We might not be the same level as the Dodgers or whoever at that point, but I think they'll go after what they need.
Did the Rays or the Guardians
Do you
that?
really
Yes.
think that?
Yeah,
Do you really think that?
I do. Yes, I do.
All right.
Because even Cleveland's made moves. Tampa at one point, they may not be the Max Scherzer, Trey Turner deal, but the Rays at one point added was it Nelson Cruz, I think at the deadline at one point. Yeah, they did. And it might be that where you're like, oh, this is a small move, and then winds up being big. What I'm saying is, I think the Cardinals are trying to become more savvy than they are taking the sledgehammer to the fly. Kansas City made the move for Johnny Cueto. Nobody saw that coming and wound up winning a World Series. So it's all relative in terms of what the move is, but I do think, yes, they'll make moves when it's appropriate. So we saw a New York Knicks team completely collapse last night. Not the first team to collapse in a big game. Some even collapse in Super Bowls. Who do you blame when teams can't finish games? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Coming up, starting on Friday, May 30th, you're going to have 3 days of unbelievable athletes coming into St. Louis to sign autographs, take pictures, so many things. The STL Sports Show is coming in right now. You got former Blues players, Ryan O'Reilly and Grant Fuhr will be in town signing autographs. UFC legend Matt Hughes, have Roman Berkey, so many great local guys going to be here. There's going to be sports card vendors, memorabilia. You can meet local youth sports clubs, meet some of the St. Louis Ambush as well. You can bid on items at the silent auctions. There's going to be raffles that are giving away sports tickets. And again, the athletes themselves are the attractions. You get an autograph, a picture, a signature, whatever it is. You've got guys that are coming into town. It's going to be an amazing event. Again, that's the St. Louis Sports Show starting Friday, May 30th. Going to be located at the beautiful event space over at the Doubletree Hilton in Chesterfield. Easy to get to on and off Highway 6440. So please stop out there, check it out, or you can get online and get more information, purchase tickets over there. That's stlsportshow.com. Again, stlsportshow.com.
He'll take it. He'll backpedal a three for the win. In the moment, I mean, I wasn't like plotting on it or anything. Everybody wanted me to do it like last year at some different point, but it's gotta feel right. And it felt right at the time. If I would have known it was a 2, I would not have done it. So I think I might have wasted it. If I do it again, then people might say I'm like aura farming. So I'm not, I don't plan on using it again.
Chloroforming.
Aura farming.
Chloroform.
Don't be doing that.
Aura.
Tyrese Halliburton, let's not.
Somebody asked me one time, they said, hey,
Chloroform, more like boroform.
they said, hey, does this napkin smell like chloroform? Woke up next morning. Weird.
No, he was talking about
Carey, you were there.
talking about the choke.
I missed that.
Aura forming.
Aura.
Aura.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
Chlorophyll. That's
Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. More like borophyll. The Knicks were up 17. 17 points with 6 minutes left and 14 with 3 minutes to go. Lost in overtime on a remarkable shot.
Yeah.
Duke, also in the NCAA tournament, blew a massive lead. And some would say Falcons also blew a pretty significant lead as well.
Anthony, why you got to go there?
I don't remember
Blues.
that
The Blues are also.
He's hurt, so he wants to hurt me now.
The Blues also,
He does do that from
you
time
know,
to time.
had a 2-goal lead at one point in Winnipeg.
They did, Anthony.
So
They
here's
did.
the question.
Although it wasn't a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. But
No, it was a Game 7, though, and
It was. But it wasn't for the Super Bowl or something like that.
okay, I get it.
You want to hurt me? I can hurt you back, okay?
When it comes to the Falcons, there's nothing
Can't hurt
left.
him more. than
There's
he's
nothing
already been
left,
hurt.
man.
Not true.
You got Carey saying that I hate my favorite team. You know where that comes from? Because he sees it on my face. I'm
do.
hurt constantly.
What is the accent doing?
I don't know.
I'm hurt constantly.
Anywho, who do you blame when teams can't finish games?
So I was watching this. I was flipping back and forth, and I was telling Jamie this because I wanted to get his opinion on it as well. The Oilers were also up 3-1, hit the goalpost, hit the post, chance to go up 4-1, and now you end up losing 6-3 in that game. Like when you have a lead, and I think a 2-goal lead, damn near a 3-goal lead is a massive lead in the NHL.
It's the worst lead in hockey.
Definitely that 2-goal
People have
lead.
been saying that for 30 years. A
I
2-goal
hate
lead
that
is the
rule.
worst.
That's
worse than
ridiculous.
I'll take it.
I'll take it every day of the week. You
Yeah,
got
you
2-goal lead. Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
It's a great
It's
league.
like a
It's a great
25-point lead in
Yeah.
football. It's
You
like-
would think who
the
would think
worst
you're going to
thing
lose?
to-
It's actually
it's the
not.
worst thing to have.
You just keep playing and scoring.
Maybe run the ball.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
They
pick up
tried.
the first downs.
Got penalized.
Watching, flipping back and forth, and I'm like, the Knicks are about to lose this game because the possessions became terrible. The first goal that the Stars scored, it was a turnover in the O-zone for the Oilers, and he just took off and scored. And I'm watching, I'm like, who do you like when it starts spiraling like that? And you've been in games like that, I'm sure. I have. When it starts spiraling, who the hell do you look at and say, this is on you that we lost this game? Because you shouldn't lose after you have a 17-point lead in the NBA with 5 or 6 minutes left, and you shouldn't lose a two-goal lead in the NHL playoffs when you are. To me, the Oilers were really dominating that game and had the advantage, and somehow or some way they ended up losing it.
Well, bad penalties too. Discipline became an issue.
Yeah, they did have that
as well. Their penalty kill stunk. I mean, they only killed 1 out of 4 penalties. That'll hurt you a lot. In those situations, for me, and I'll just speak from a hockey standpoint because I can't speak to any other sport for that matter. To me, it's the leadership group. It's the head coach, the assistant coaches, and then your go-to guys. Mm-hmm. At that point, like if I'm the Oilers, maybe I call a timeout. If I see my team take penalties, we gave up a goal, it's 3-2 now, maybe I call a timeout. Or I strategically tell my players on the bench, next TV timeout, everybody bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in, because we're going to talk. So next TV timeout, everybody in, and say, hey, listen, so-and-so and so-and-so, your line's going. A line you can depend on. Mm-hmm. A couple of solid defensemen. We'll just have a really good shift. We're one good shift, and we'll build off of that. Keep pucks moving ahead. Move it. Like, it takes a leadership.
Yeah.
I watched Chris Knobloch. He's a pretty good coach, the head coach of the Oilers, but It's almost
Chuck's brother.
cousin. I think it's you're right,
First
Kerry.
cousin.
But he almost became the Homer Simpson gift there, where he's
Start backing up.
backing into the bushes. Like, you watch him on the bench, he was like, yeah. Like, worst case scenario, I'd be like, hey, McDavid, Draisaitl, you guys are going every other shift. Let's force them to defend. They can't score if they're trying to defend the two best players in the world.
Good point.
Right.
Like, so for me, it's a coaching and leadership group where that's what falls apart when it comes to hockey. To basketball, I'll defer.
So when I'm watching that game, I'm watching the Knicks game, and I'm like, they were up 17, and I'm like, they are taking some really it's almost like they felt like the game was over, so now I can get my points. I'm going to score how I want to score. I'm break it down. I'm just going to shoot. And then they're missing. And on the other end, the Pacers are just nibbling away. They're scoring every possession, and you're like, the Knicks are about to lose this game. And Tyrese Halliburton, he gets the ball, rushes back to the three-point line. He has his toe on the line. If it's a three-pointer, they win the game. His toe is on the line. It's a two-pointer. It goes into overtime. But he hits the game-tying shot at the buzzer, and you're like, at that point, I'm like, the Knicks are going to lose, because now you have to go into overtime with a team that just was down 17 points, and they clawed their way back in, and you have no life on the other end. And the same as you, like, timeout. Like, let's regroup. Hey, stop taking dumbass shots, please and thank you. Let's defend. Let's do the things that we did to gain that 17-point lead, and not the things you did the last few minutes to let them back into the game. And I just, when it starts spiraling out of control like that, I do think it's on the head coach. Like you said, call a timeout, regroup, get everybody.
The players are looking for leadership.
They
at that
need
point.
somebody to tell me, hey, what the hell is going on here? Stop, breathe, get a break, and now let's go back there and do the job we need to do. And in both of those instances, I think the coaches could have done a better job of corralling their guys and getting them on the court or on the side of the at the bench and saying, hey, this is what we need to do. But neither one of them seem to be doing it.
You guys lived it. I watched it. When it comes to those moments, to piggyback off of what you guys are saying from a coaching standpoint, if I'm a coach in that situation too, I'm preaching, hey, the game is the same. Go back to the fundamentals, because in every single breakdown, in every collapse, I don't care what sport it is, it comes back to attention to detail.
Yeah.
So like the Falcons that night, Devonta Freeman, who's an excellent pass blocker, just whiffed on Chris Long, and that set up a fumble.
Let me tell you something.
It was a chip. He completely.
That ain't his job.
No, but it was. I'm not saying one-on-one.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to chip on Chris Long. Chris Long beat Jake Matthews.
That's his fault.
Freeman wasn't there, and Matt Ryan got sacked, and it was a fumble. Tom Brady should have got intercepted again on that Julian Edelman play.
Yeah.
That miraculous.
Kept it off the ground.
Clearly they had signed some deal with the football gods beforehand to keep that up. So that's part bad luck. But Brady should have got picked off by Robert Alford again. It's attention to detail. Jake Matthews got called on a holding call. You say run the ball, and that a lot of people, I know you're joking, but a lot of people are like, "I didn't run the ball." They did, but Jake Matthews got a holding call on it and pushed him out of field range. I think it's attention to detail, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that in that Blues game against the Jets, Jamie, you could pick apart a couple of the things, including obviously Pavel Buchnevich. Certain plays that you make year round. You're right, Carey. It's not his job, right?
Yeah.
But you've made that play before. You've made plays throughout the course of the season, so it's about, hey, let's settle down. Remember, it's still basketball, it's still football, it's still hockey. The attention to we have got to be careful, because that other team is being aggressive now.
Right.
And it just takes one turnover, whether it's, I don't care what sport it is, to flip the tide, and all of a sudden you're on your heels again. And you're wondering what the hell happened.
It's amazing how quickly it can happen as well.
Yeah.
I was just watching, I'm like, oh, man. And I was flipping back and forth, and then before I knew it, the hockey game was pretty much over.
Well, fortunately, those two teams, the Oilers and Knicks, they've got an entire series. So
yeah,
they got some things to correct, and it's only game one for both of those teams.
The Oilers, too, I'll just speak to this before we close out. G-Dog asked a question, said, do you think, Jamie, it's because of Knoblauch's inexperience in the playoffs? No, I don't, because he got his team to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final last year.
Very true.
And so the Oilers, they blew that game last night, but they were also down 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Final and made a Game 7 of it. So
yeah,
they're long from being done.
It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Deep team or top-end talent? I think we're seeing that play out again in the NHL about which side the Blues should be building on. That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to sell your house anytime soon, let me tell you something. It's not as easy as it seems. If you price your house the wrong price, then you could be sitting there for a while. And I mean, some people just want to overprice their homes, and then they just sit on the market. And then some people sell quickly, but they've left money on the table because they priced it too low. Don't do that. Call Gloria Lou. She's with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and she's going to help you through that. That's exactly why you talk to Gloria Lou. She understands the market. She knows where the market is headed. She understands the pricing of houses in St. Louis. And we all know different areas bring in different prices, but you want to price your home accordingly so that you sell fast, but also make the most money. Gloria has a database with thousands of buyers, too, and a lot of those buyers will fall into your category or the price range of your home, and that will help you sell, and again, hopefully for more money. So pick up the phone today. Call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are off today, but they'll take on the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow. Zach Gallen on the mound for the D-backs. Miles Michaelis on the mound for the Cardinals. First pitch is at 7:15, and you can watch that game on Apple TV+. Game 2 tonight between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers lead that series 1-0. You can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. We saw last night the Oilers blow a lead. They lose that game 6-3. And that leads into our conversation coming up next. When it comes to the NHL, would you rather have a deep team or top-end talent? I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet or Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Last night on 101 ESPN, Kerry Davis, James Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Last night we saw the Dallas Stars take a 1-0 series lead against a very talented Edmonton Oilers team. A team that, as you mentioned, Jamie, going into the break in the last segment, went to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. But after what we saw Florida do to Toronto this past season, what we've seen in previous years with the Panthers or the Vegas Golden Knights, or now with Dallas and perhaps Edmonton, is it still preferable for NHL teams to have that depth scoring? Does that outweigh elite top-line talent like a McDavid and Draisaitl in a long series? Again, I realize Edmonton made it to Game 7 last year, but I think the Stars have built a more playoff resilient roster, and I'm glad to see that the Blues are trying to accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, so to be clear here, the Edmonton Oilers didn't just suddenly appear in the Stanley Cup Final last year. It had been a number of years where they had McDavid and Draisaitl on the same team with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and they were continuously trying to find the right group of depth players to get them into the playoffs and then past the first round, past the second round. Like, it has been a 5 or 6 year project. And so you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, very similar in the way they were built. A bunch of superstar players because they sucked so bad they got a lot of high-end draft picks, and they found generational talent with those picks. And the Leafs are still struggling to find the right depth pieces to get them to the next level. So although it seems really fun to have the big shiny toy of like the generational talent, believe it or not, if you have more than one of those guys, it's harder to build a competitive team because, and I was saying this in the office to Carey, is the more of those guys that you have, like Toronto, the core four, they eat up all the money. Mm-hmm. And then you had Morgan Riley, who's the fifth piece of that. He eats up the money. Now you don't have the proper amount of funding to go find other really good players. You're filling the holes with cheap players or older players that are on the downside of their careers because they'll take less money to keep playing. Right. And that's why the Leafs keep losing. And the Oilers almost found themselves in the same situation because they were dumb enough, and I'll just say dumb enough, to let Holloway and Broberg go while trying to backfill with veteran players like Skinner and Arvidsson and Corey Perry. And like, what are you doing? Yeah. But again, the Oilers, they're not building for sustainability. They're not. They've got 2 more years of Connor McDavid. He might walk. So their time is now, and which is why they moved on from younger talent to backfill with older players who they thought brought that depth and experience and that grit and all that stuff. Yeah. And it's gotten them to the Stanley Cup Final last year with those 2 players, and then this year in the conference final playing the Dallas Stars, and yet to be determined if they can actually do anything, because, again, it looks like goaltending is going to rear its ugly head on the Oilers, which it has for the last decade. It just has.
You hate Stuart Skinner.
I don't hate him. Actually, he's a hell of a guy. I got to meet him a couple of times this year. Really good guy.
Personally,
great mustache on him. Very impressive. But I'm not hitching my wagon to that guy. It's I call it bipolar goaltending, much like Connor Hellebuck.
You don't know
one day you get one. It's like a box of chocolates, Kerry. Famous guy once said that. Great documentary.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
But I'm not hitching my wagon to a goalie who, like Stuart Skinner, this playoff season, I read it somewhere, it's like 4 goals against or 5 goals against average in his losses, and in his wins, it's a shutout. So he's either terrible or he's unbelievable. Yeah. I'll just take somewhere in the middle on a consistent basis for me.
Do you think he was terrible last night?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That Duchesne goal, he shot it off his own guy's ass, got the puck back, and shot it again before Stuart Skinner got across the crease.
He was looking behind the net on the other side when the puck was on the right side.
He tried to say there was goalie interference. He didn't know what was going on.
There was a lot going on. He's like, what the hell is this?
Told me everything I needed to know at that point. But again, we're building a team like that. So that's one model, okay? And I find it to be way more difficult, even though people go, well, you got the best players in the world. Yep, they're also making the most money in the world, which makes my job in a salary cap world tough. Flip side, look at the Florida Panthers. Stanley Cup final, Stanley Cup champions, probably going to get to the Stanley Cup final again this year. and they had drafted it and developed and then added pieces along the way. And now they're a perennial contender because they've managed to build a team and then add stars to it.
Yeah, I going into this playoffs, Anthony, I picked the Dallas Stars. I thought that they were the better team. But it's something about the Oilers that just fascinates me.
You love stars.
I love superstars, man. Because I think that they have something, again, that normal human beings don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Normal people couldn't fathom Connor McDavid's skill set, in real time, like being that good. And so, yeah, they lost last night. They should have won. They are a half an inch from being up 4-1.
If you lost, then you shouldn't have won, Kerry.
Yeah, they lost.
Deep thought.
That was very good, I think. I have to take that home and process it, and I'll get back to you on Tuesday.
Just take it home and process it your extra long weekend.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on Tuesday and let you know what I think. But with that being said, to me, there's also something when you're a team that's up and you have an opportunity, you just barely missed a 4-1 lead. I think that's something that you can talk about and say, fellas, we gave that game away. Like, we are the better team. We were the better team for
I agree. When you isolate
of that
the one game like that, I agree.
So I still think the Stars are a really good team, but it's something that just intrigues me about.
But if we're
Edmonton.
talking about sustainability,
you go 100%,
and that's kind of, I think this is what we're circling this conversation around is
multiple years. Yeah, give me the team that has more depth and has the ability. But if we're talking about, I just need to get to the finish line. It's a sprint and not a marathon. Give me the superstar. Mm-hmm. If it's a sprint, give me the damn guy. Which is what the Oilers
decided to do when they let Holloway and Broberg walk because they were like, this is a sprint because we may not have Connor McDavid 2 years from now. Yeah. And if you lose Connor McDavid, forget it.
Don't worry.
You might as well trade Draisaitl too at that point and be like back into the full rebuild again.
Sure. Yeah.
But to bring it back locally here to the Blues, I think this is where the Blues are right now, much like the Panthers were before they acquired a Matthew Tkachuk. Mm-hmm. And before Sam Reinhart, obviously, he blossomed into the star that he is. But the Blues now have a very solid team. They need star power. Mm-hmm. And that's why Army talked about adding another 200-foot scoring type player. So what does that look like? Is it this year? Is it next offseason? This offseason, the free agency pool is really thin, which is why guys like Marner and possibly Bennett and Besser will all get overpaid. But the following year, it's like McDavid, Eichel. There are some dudes that could be unrestricted free agents. And maybe that's when the Blues go, all right, we've been holding back for a couple of years. We got a good team, and now we're going to go all in on our version of the Matthew Tkachuk to add and put us over the top.
That was going to be my question, because if you look at the trade deadline next year, if Edmonton doesn't win the championship this year and they stink next year, and you're looking at a man in Connor McDavid who is going to be a free agent the following year, that's when those moves could potentially happen.
They could, yeah.
All right, Blues fans, hope for
Connor McDavid.
McDavid.
All right, Army,
there we
good
go.
work.
Get it done. Man, we just did it. Jamie and I just did it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got your second line center now with McDavid.
There you go. Yeah.
Because Robert Thomas first line.
Yeah.
You might put him. Okay. You might put him on the first line.
Maybe, you think?
Probably.
All right, McDavid first line center.
I don't know how you guys did it, but I'm in. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN College Football to reward the top four teams. We'll tell you the latest on the college football playoff next on 101 ESPN. Auto Centers, Nissan, Herculaneum, they got some great deals going on right now. Their Bloom and Vroom sales event throughout the month of May, which, by the way, it's already May 22nd, so you got to hit down. You have to head down to Auto Centers, Nissan, Herculaneum, take advantage of the no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans. They've got no payments for 3 months on used vehicles going on. Complimentary new car lifetime warranty. Talk about peace of mind for either you or if you've got, a son or a daughter that's driving and you want to make sure that they're in a safe, reliable, cost-effective vehicle. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum gives you that complimentary new car lifetime warranty, a 30-day new car return promise as well. Within 30 days, if you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, bring it back to refund your money, and then you can look at something else there. 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan as well. It's time to head down to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Check out over 800 new and used vehicles, all in one easy location. You can start online at autocentersnissan.com. When you do head down to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Center's Nissan, where the inventory is big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found. The College Football Playoff Committee has already altered the rules for next year. And it's a good thing. It's a real good thing based on what happened this past year. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. So the 2025 College Football Playoffs will change to straight seeding. The top 4 teams get first-round byes, regardless of whether or not they won a conference title. So if you have a stacked Big Ten conference or a stacked SEC conference or a stacked Big 12, which probably not, but
Big Mountain West conference.
Exactly, a stacked MAC, right?
I knew you were going there. I don't know how we were going to get the MAC involved, but I knew somehow.
All right. A stacked Big Ten.
Thank you.
Where it's clear that the top 2 teams in the nation are in the Big Ten. Those 2 teams will be ranked accordingly.
Oh, you mean they're doing it the way they should have from the beginning?
That's correct.
Wow, that's hard to believe.
Well, but it was only 1 year. They fast laned up. They realized it.
Well, they tried it. It's fine.
And they course corrected.
You know what, Anthony? You're right. I'm being a little bit mean.
Which
I shouldn't do that.
Which allows a team like Notre Dame to actually be in the top 4 now because they were not in a conference.
Correct. So conference champs still get automatic bids, but are seeded based on rankings. So it's not like those teams that win their conference championships are getting screwed over. It's just if you happen to be, how many years have we seen like Iowa and Michigan?
Yeah.
Or Iowa and somebody play in the Big Ten championship. If Iowa happens to win that game, but they're 8-4, they still get an automatic bid into the playoffs, but you may have to start on the road. This is the way they should have done it a year ago, but I do like and give them credit that they're course correcting here.
So have they figured out the problem, though, of the conference championship games? Because, there are certain teams like Notre Dame didn't have a conference, so they didn't have a conference championship game that they could lose either.
Sure.
So the NCAA hasn't, maybe they have. I'm reading through the article, but doesn't seem like they figured that out either, to where certain teams who will be ranked high don't have a conference championship team, so they don't have to worry about another loss on their schedule. And then Michigan has to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They both got great teams. They're ranked pretty high. One of them loses.
You're just using that as an example, by the way. That can't happen, but you're just using an example because I don't want a text coming in. Jamie's just using it as an example.
I am just using an example.
But you're going to get the text. They can't play in the championship. That's not your point.
Who can't?
Michigan and Ohio State.
Michigan. Oh, they're getting away. They're going away from the divisions, I thought.
Well, they're not yet.
Not yet.
Based on what I'm reading.
But
anyways,
but whatever.
Maybe
whatever conference championship teams you want to put in there. If both of those teams have had successful seasons, one of them is going to get another loss, and it'll drop them in the rankings. Maybe out of the playoff, maybe not, maybe lower in the seeding. But then the team who doesn't have to play in a conference championship doesn't have to worry about that.
Right.
I don't think
that's beneficial for them.
And I think they factor. Well, you could look at it either way, right? Because if you win a conference championship, that should hold more water than or more weight.
Does it though? What if you play an opponent?
Not if you're an 8-4 team and Notre Dame is 12-0.
So let's bring up the Big Ten again, because Michigan plays Ohio State every year, and we know that they're not going to meet in the final. So let's say it's Michigan or Ohio State, and they play a lesser team in that championship. The team that, if the lesser team wins, it doesn't really make a difference to them, the lesser team. Like, it's not going to advance them into the college football playoff.
If they win,
if they win the title,
I guess you're right.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but they won't be ranked higher. So for me, and we're speaking about Notre Dame specifically. Notre Dame plays a national schedule, so they play a lot of, Power 4 conference teams to begin with. They're not in a conference, but they will be playing Big Ten teams, maybe an SEC team, a Pac-12 team. Like they play.
You're right, by the way.
About
the conference.
Yeah, they don't.
No divisions.
They're getting rid of the divisions. Yeah. So it's just the top 2 teams.
All right, so hang on. Your Honor, I'd like to retract everything I just said. Scratch that from the record. All right, as you were, Kerry.
So I think that the best part. So when I'm looking at this college playoff football from last year, the college playoff football, the bracket, you had Arizona State and Boise State both in there because they won their conferences. And now you would more than likely move them out. Texas would be moved up, and would it be Notre Dame? Not Notre Dame. Neither Notre Dame or Penn State will probably be in that place because both of those teams, I think, were seated higher in the rankings than Arizona State and Boise State.
Correct.
So
they'd get a bye.
They would get the bye. And tomato. Like, I didn't have a problem with it last year with them going with the top 4 conference champions. I didn't have a problem with it. But now, if you want to correct it and make it the top 4 teams and base it off of that and seed them as such, cool. Maybe you get the best championship game. But you also had an Arizona State team that probably should have beat Texas. Like, they were, to me, the better team that entire game, and Texas somehow found a way to win. So, it is what it is, but I think watching it this year is going to be a lot of fun, seeing how this all plays out, who gets seated where, and who gets an opportunity, who's on the road. And like I said, a team like Notre Dame with the old version would have never been able to have a first-round bye because they're not in a conference now. If they play well enough, they can find their way into a number 1 through 4 seed.
And credit Notre Dame. Like you were kind of indicating this earlier. They did play a big schedule last year. I mean, they had
They do every
big-time
year.
opponents. Yeah, it's not like the Notre Dame in the past where they schedule their games against the military academies and then sprinkle in one game against USC and call it good. This Notre Dame team has scheduled bigger opponents. I wish the Lions wouldn't have retracted their proposal that the NFL do this too. Now, I don't know if they would have passed, but the divisions every year change in the NFL in terms of strength. I think they should reseed in the NFL too. Earning a division championship should only give you the automatic bid into the playoffs. If you're 7-9, like the Seahawks were last year, I know, or several years ago now, you should have to be the 6th seed then, or the 7th seed, or however many teams they have that year. That's my opinion on that.
I agree. I understand it, but only in the case where a team stinks like that. The NFC South has been kind of that a couple of times where
The NFC South, the AFC South's been worse.
No. The NFC South as well. Both Souths, they've been bad. So yeah, if you have a team that is 8-9 or 8-8 in years past, and they won their division, and they get to host a team that is 10-6, seemed a little odd based on the. But the schedule, it works out how it works out. I don't want it. It's hard to get into who played who and how tougher this schedule was versus this team. If you win your division, I think you won your division. You earned the right to have a playoff game. And I'm glad they're going to keep it that way.
Home playoff game. Got it. Yeah. No, I think you're wrong. It's fascinating on 101 ESPN. How his defense turned the Cardinals into contenders. That's next on 101 ESPN. Johnson on 101 ESPN 304. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. How has defense turned the Cardinals into contenders? There was a quote that Wilson Contreras said within the last week or so that had both Jamie and Carey basically wanted to be besties with Wilson Contreras.
I want to go. You want to meet Dan Campbell and have a beverage? Me and Wilson got to go out and have a drink. Like, just have a great time. Like, yeah.
Well, I can't go?
No, yeah, you can come.
No, you just, peed on your territory
what
right
I
there.
Said, it's how you
Anthony said, I'm sure Carey and Jamie love him, too. And you said, you can have I'm going to go have drinks with Contreras.
That's how you heard it, sir. Remember,
I didn't hear you say, hey, Jamie, let's go out for a cocktail with Wilson Contreras.
The therapy has taught me sometimes people don't hear you correctly. What I said was just like how you enjoy and you want to go out for a drink with Dan Campbell, which you haven't invited me for.
I keep trying to get him on the show for all of us, by the way.
I said I would like to go out and have a drink with Wilson Contreras. You're not. It's not that you're not invited.
Yeah, but I didn't hear I was invited.
Jamie, would you like to go out and have this drink with Wilson and I?
No.
Okay. See, this is why I didn't invite you.
Don't expect to be with me and Dan.
Wow, this is too bad.
Yeah.
All the way around.
See what he just did?
What I did?
He made me do all of that, and then he said no. Hey, you.
So here's the quote from Wilson.
You need to want it more.
I want it all.
And I quote, I don't care. I'm not afraid, Contreras said. If I'm going to die, I'll die right there.
And listen, so he's talking about
I smell what you're cooking.
There was a bunt situation by India, and he had crept Jonathan India. Thank you. Appreciate that.
India, of course.
Not the country.
It's not in Africa.
Let me. I apologize. Jonathan India. Not the country.
Asia.
That's in Asia, not Africa.
Sore spot, Carey.
Some people may say.
Yeah.
And he had crept so far down the first base line that Miles Michaelis and I guess Nolan Arenado screamed, "Hey, scoot back!" And he's like, "Nah, I'm playing defense." And Miles Michaelis said, "Man, I was afraid that if India squared up the bunt, but if he decided to swing, he might kill him." And Wilson Contreras says, "I'm not afraid. If I die, I'll die right there." And that to me, as crazy as that sounds, Jamie, you actually did die. I didn't, but I'm
glad
felt like
you didn't, Kerry.
I felt like if I did on the field, I lived a good life.
Yeah.
Like there is and the sick part of he's not lying.
No.
Like, he's dead serious because I understand that mentality. Jamie understands that mentality. Like there's something about giving yourself for your sport and for your teammates that if something bad happens right here, you know what? I go out the way I damn wanted to. And that mindset, to me, is probably why the defense is playing as well as they are. It's we talked to Monty a lot during the hockey season, and later on, after the Four Nations face-off, he talked more about how selfless the team was, and you saw that the team played better. Guys were giving up themselves; they were taking slap shots to the knees, back, hips, thighs, every part of their bodies to protect the goalie from having to face those shots. They became selfless. This is a version of selflessness from Wilson Contreras saying, if something bad happens, I'll worry about that later. I got to get this out. And that's the mindset that I think is kind of permeating through the entire clubhouse. They're all in that mindset like, yeah, we got to get the out. We got to get off the field. We got to make sure that our pitchers are not left out there to dry, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we can get the out and get out of this inning.
Yeah, that's culture. That's what it is. You're building culture. That's one small piece of the pie right there. And Wilson Contreras, to his credit, from the friggin' first day he signed as a Cardinal, he has never acted any different. He's never acted. He wanted to be a Cardinal. He said it publicly before he even signed with the Cardinals. Then when he got here, he wanted to honor Yachty, which is great. Then he got thrown under the bus by pitchers and pitching staff and all that stuff. Didn't care. Kept showing up at the field. Kept mashing baseballs, did what he had to do, broken arm last year, first base this year. All the guy does is show up to play every single night, and he gives everything he's got to the organization, to the fans. And I think what's happened is that's leaked into the rest of the club. So whoever the leadership was before, I'm not saying they weren't good leaders or didn't do their job, they didn't act the same way. And not all leadership is created equal, meaning that you can have a blood and guts guy like Wilson Contreras. You can also have a quiet guy like Paul Goldschmidt. You can have an older guy like Adam Wainwright. Like, you can have a bunch of different characters that are all leaders. But you need a psycho in there somewhere. You do. Especially for the young guys. The young guys look up. So how can any young guy now not dive for a ball, run into the wall, run out of pop fly? Like, how can they not do that knowing Wilson Contreras said, I'm willing to die on the field?
Mm-hmm.
And meant it.
And he's got a World Series ring.
Joking.
Yeah.
You walk into the clubhouse after, and you look across the room, and Wilson Contreras is staring at you like, that's the best you've got?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play through a broken arm last year, and I'm willing to die. And that's the best you've got.
Yeah. You're right. That's culture, and that's also the big leagues. That separates guys that want to be big leaguers, but when they get up there, they're not all about the team, right? And I do think that in Major League Baseball, and maybe it's this way in hockey too, Jamie. You would have to talk to that point. But when it comes to Major League Baseball, when you're in the minors for so long, a lot of those guys get weeded out. The guys that
the pretenders,
guys, a teammate strikes out. Yeah, pretenders. Yeah, guy strikes out, and his teammates like, oh, give him a look, whatever. That doesn't happen at the big league level because once you get in that clubhouse, there is essentially a code there. You're going to act like a big leaguer, and if you're there, you're going to be a great teammate. So you're right, Jamie. Any young player that sees that, they're going to want to emulate that.
Yeah, and
that. I was going to say, that only happens on good teams, though.
Good teams, yeah.
Because I think Wilson has been the same person for the last few years that he's been here, but maybe the people around him, it took a little while for everyone else to catch on. And you know what really helped? You hit the nail on the head. Younger players. Mm-hmm. Younger players. Like, when you're older, you're kind of set in your way. Paul Goldschmidt is not going to look at Wilson Contreras and say, I don't know why the hell you're all the way
I've been
down
doing
there,
it my way for a long time.
That's a dumbass idea.
But Contreras wouldn't look at Goldschmidt anyways that way.
But he might. The mindset of younger players looking at a veteran player that has won a championship, that has been through the fire, that has done all of the things that maybe they, aspire to do in their careers. He can be a trendsetter, a tone setter for the entire team. And I think that that's what's happening now, where in years past, when you had more veterans because they needed veteran leadership, that's not looked at the same. Some guys, when they get older, they're like, why the hell is he doing all that? And that's a terrible team. Like, they do.
Man. You're right.
He's doing too much. I don't want to do all that. That's
that guy. Hero biscuit.
You don't take all that.
That's right. Guys say that.
But those are loser.
Those are hero.
That's a loser team.
You know what the kids say now? You're flexing.
Yeah,
it's a weird flex.
It's a weird flex.
Yeah.
But when you're younger and you're looking at it, you're like, damn, this dude really wants to win. And if I really want to win, I need to imitate that type of behavior. Maybe not chewing on my batting tape, and maybe not standing 3 feet from a guy that could swing a bat and the baseball hit me at 100 miles an hour. Maybe not, but I should emulate the parts of it where I'm giving great effort and I'm going above and beyond because he is as well.
So one other thing too, Kerry, that you just sparked my brain on is when you're talking about eating the tape, okay? Like, this is one little thing, but it shows younger players, like this game. So Wilson Contreras, when he comes in as a catcher. Then he's more of a DH than a catcher. Then there's talk about moving him to the outfield. No, he's not going to do that. We're going to back here. Then now he's a first baseman. Mm-hmm. He's done whatever the team has asked him to do.
Correct.
So to all young players coming in, you're going to do whatever the team asks you to do. You're not like Rafael Devers in Boston, right? And then Contreras is showing them that baseball is about competing. It's about grit. It's about playing for each other. Right. It's not about the swag that you're wearing. It's not about the eye black and the cool armband and because so many baseball players, I watch them, they look the part. So many young hockey players, they look the part. They got all the nicest gear, the cool tape job, but they can't play the part. Yeah. And Wilson Contreras is kind of showing them a little bit of old school, like, just show up and play the damn game. Don't worry about where your socks are, with what bat tape color you're going to use and things like that. Just go out there and play.
Right. And cut your hair. That's what they told you.
They did tell me to cut my hair.
Cut your hair.
Cut your hair, take out your earrings. By the way, can you have your tattoos removed? No, I can't do that.
I can do 2 of those things, sir.
Yeah, meanwhile, none of it had anything to do with hockey.
No.
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
It's fascinating on 101 ESPN. Speaking of hockey, Chris Kerber will join us next. We'll talk to him about the NHL playoffs here on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by play-by-play man Chris Kerber of your St. Louis Blues. What's up, Kerbs?
And, listen, I just heard that promotion where, they bought free tickets for Pantera. And I'm wondering, does anybody in the room there remember the old Pantera pizza places?
Oh, yeah, I do.
You do that? Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Remember when you'd go in there, Carey, and the pizza was good, and then you'd spend another $30 asking your mom and dad for quarters for all the video
playing the video games. Yeah, good times, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They used to have one. The last one I remember, there might be one floating around. So the last one I remember was over near that Schnucks that's right at right where Olive becomes Clarkson, right over near Harpo's. There was one near there, but I don't remember too many of the others.
Pantera Pizza was really good, Anthony. You would like it since you don't like the other place around here.
Oh, I love a lot of pizza places here.
You don't have to do that. We know the truth.
Don't placate.
I can't hear somebody mention the band Pantera without thinking of a pizza joint.
So the band didn't actually perform at these pizza places. It was just called Pantera Pizza.
Yeah, that was just the place.
That was just called Pantera.
It would have been great if they did play there.
At every single one of them.
It's like Walk that plays every time you walk in.
There were a few I think now obviously we're aging ourselves, but for those that remember the Ground Round, right, where all the peanuts are on the floor, right? Mm-hmm. A few places like that used to be around that were great family places to go to.
Kerbs, when you're watching you're consuming the NHL playoffs, what is something about these two matchups that compel you to continue to tune in?
Well, first off, just watching the style of play, I don't think the Blues are far off, to be honest with you. I actually think within a move or two, the Blues can be Stanley Cup contenders next season. That's where I've gotten to now with my thought process here over the last week or so. And one of the reasons, and it'll kind of pull back to these two series, just look at the goaltending, and I know the Blues have that's been a big difference there. Holy cow, did Edmonton shoot themselves in the foot with stupid penalties. 3 straight power play goals for Dallas, turn that game around. So, the discipline's got to be part of it. But the other thing that jumps out is if you look at the 4 teams left, you look at Carolina, you look at Florida, you look at Dallas. All 3 of those teams play a pretty similar style of play. Has some good studs on the team, right? Big and solid defensively, and they have that. They have that playoff grit, that size, and that bang the body ability to get you through the playoffs. I think that bang the body ability, the Edmonton Oilers are a little less, and that's where they're hoping that the skill of Draisaitl and McDavid kind of takes it over. I think to me that's the biggest thing there. So I'm going to be curious if the Oilers get back to the Stanley Cup final this time, or if it's the Dallas Stars that can pull it off. But the style of play of those other 3 teams to me is just so similar, and that's the style that the Blues, I think, have put back into their DNA. So that's a positive.
Yeah, I agree, Curves. And I wanted to circle back. You talk about the Oilers and their speed and their skill, and you wonder if they can get back to the final. Just announced moments ago was that Brendan Shanahan will not be renewed up in Toronto as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that's a team we know that's got a lot of high-end skill, but they haven't been able to do anything in the playoffs. Just your thoughts on the Leafs moving away from Shanahan, and overall, do you think a team that has, 3-4 high-end guys like that have the ability to be contenders based on the fact that a lot of the money is wrapped up in those big guys?
No, I don't. Well, I take that back. With the way the salary cap's about to jump over the next 3 years, I think then, yes, you can have 3 guys making good money and find money to balance it out. So I do think maybe it's going to get possible. But to me, Jamie, at this point, it has not proven to be possible. I guess an argument against it, or as I always ask, okay, well, what are some arguments against it? Okay, well, you look at what Pittsburgh had their big 3, well, big 4 if you count Fleury in there, obviously with Letang, Malkin, and Crosby. You had Quick, Doughty, Kopitar, and Brown with the Kings, right? But I've just said 4 there, right? The Chicago Blackhawks, Taves, Kane, Seabrook, Keith. You look at those, and But none of them really did it when the other guys were making the big money, right? So I don't know that you can. Now, look, Brendan Shanahan had a good run with the Toronto Maple Leafs. They couldn't get through it. Larry Plow had a hell of a great run here with the St. Louis Blues. Could never get the goalie to get him over the hump, right? I mean, I don't think sometimes the playoff success should take away from 82 games of regular season success for quite a long time. Having said that, honestly, I do believe that if the rumors kind of point that maybe the Islanders are looking at bringing Brendan Shanahan in and potentially keeping Lou Lamoriello as an advisor, right? I don't see how the Islanders are going to get any better than the Toronto Maple Leafs and stuff. So to me, you still got to have a balance. You can have some guys doing it, Jamie, but I just don't know. Like, you can have 3 or 4 guys in that 12, 13, 14 million range.
Curves, Jamie and I were sitting here talking about potential free agents for this season, after this season, and next year. And one of the names that came up after the 25-26 season is Connor McDavid. Do you see any chance that he does not return to the Oilers on a brand new contract, making a lot of money? And if he doesn't return, are the Blues going to have a conversation with him?
I do not see Connor McDavid. Okay, wait, let me go back to the second question. I sure as hell hope so. All right? I sure as hell hope so. One guy making $50 million, the other guy's making $4 million. See if you can make it work. No. I truly don't see Connor McDavid becoming an unrestricted free agent. Having said that, but I'm not going to commit to say that he stays with the Edmonton Oilers, right? It would not shock me at some point in time if, in some way, shape, or form, if Connor did, like if they don't get there again this year, like if it doesn't happen, what type of decisions does he make? And do you see the Edmonton Oilers at some point in time become the franchise that's traded 2 of the greatest players in the history of the game? You know, so like there's just because, and the reason I said the first part about becoming a UFA, there's just no way you can let a guy like that walk. You're trading him. If you're not signing him, you're trading him. I just think that it's, again, the salary cap going up is going to be huge. To me, without a shred of doubt, Connor McDavid is never going to get paid full market value for his services if he wants to be a part of a winning franchise. So for him to stay, which I could see him doing, he's going to have to do what Sidney Crosby did a couple times, and that's you take the hometown discount. Now I realize a hometown discount at 13, 14 million, whatever. Okay.
It's tough life, Curbs.
But it still would be for him. Like if Connor McDavid isn't the first guy to average 15 million a year in AAV, who the hell would, right? So that one's going to be a fascinating one to me in that sense. But the fact that they got, I don't know, part of me almost wants to see him traded and see what happens. I wouldn't mind seeing another Gretzky type thing happen there. If I'm just being sick in my own mind.
No, I like it.
I mean, what would even be the return?
That's the question. Yeah.
Well, if the Oilers know they're losing him anyways,
yeah,
any return would be great at that point.
But it's still Connor McDavid.
It's Connor McDavid.
I mean, you can't just bend over.
We say that, but
how can, if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, right? I don't know how Mitch Marner finished that season with Toronto this year. I don't see them re-signing him, right? Now, could be wrong there, but the reason I'm using him as an example, like eventually some return. Look, I don't think the Edmonton Oilers didn't get in the end. Look at the return for Gretzky, and then look what the LA Kings got when the Blues traded for Gretzky, right? So there's gonna be no way, shape, or form, right, that the teams trading a player like that will ever get the kind of value that player is worth. So you're just going to have to know, is he going to stay or is he going to go? And but again, listen, the biggest difference, the biggest change of the whole thing is this is the first time in the salary cap era, coming out of that 04-05 lockout, that teams have known what the salary cap is going to be over the next 3 years. There's always been projections, right? And you kind of wait until you get a little closer to draft time to find out what the next year's cap is going to be. A brilliant move, especially with CBA negotiations going on for the league and the Players Association, to come out a couple months ago like they did and say this is where the cap will be over the next 3 years. And it makes all the sense in the world because now teams can plan. Teams can look ahead. You can strategize, and that's the kind of thing. To me, that kind of planning is the kind of thing that'll keep a McDavid where he's at. That'll keep other free agents where they can be because teams can project the future now that prior to them making that kind of announcement, you could not do. And that was one of the biggest challenges that management teams had.
Kerbs, we're going to leave you alone for a little while. Enjoy some of your summer months, and we'll certainly circle back when the news is picking back up with the Blues. But we appreciate everything over this past off season, or this regular season, I should say, in the postseason, and we'll certainly circle back at some point very soon.
Been awesome, fellas. Have a good start to the summer. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kerbs.
Yeah, Kerbs.
We'll see you.
See ya.
That's Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network, 101 ESPN. Well, Jamie just asked about Brendan Shanahan. I know Marsh has got some what's trending news on him, as well as an interesting question, potentially, if we have time for it. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow night. First pitch is at 7:15. You can watch that game on Apple TV Plus as Miles Michaelis will go up against Zach Gallen. Tonight, you can listen to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final in the NHL as the Carolina Hurricanes take on the Florida Panthers. Florida with a 1-0 series lead after dominating the Hurricanes in game number 1. We just got done talking with radio voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it is time for What's Trending. Jamie, you brought it up when talking to Curbs. Brendan Shanahan, his contract will not be renewed in Toronto. Things are changing now for the Maple Leaf organization. Are you shocked by that?
No, not at all, because look I don't necessarily blame Brendan Shanahan when you have players of that ability and regular seasons where they play so well, put up so many points, and they're so dynamic. How do you walk away from that? How do you move on? How do you say, okay, I have to trade one of these 100-point players?
Right.
You keep trying to find the pieces around them that can be the difference maker. You keep trying to find the coach that can bring a good team together, a la Craig Berube. It didn't work. And Shanny, he said in his statement, he's like, I tried to win a Stanley Cup, did the best I could, put together the best teams we could, and we just didn't do it. We were unable to do it. Mm-hmm. So if I'm the Leafs organization from the top to the bottom, I'm probably already aware that I'm moving on from Mitch Marner, let him go via free agency. That's going to free up, $14 million that I can play with. John Tavares, I'm going to get him probably at half price of what he is right now. So it's going to give the Leafs somewhere around $17, $18 million of wiggle room to go find their next version of the Leafs. And I think the next version should be under somebody else's supervision. Mm-hmm. Bottom line, I love Shanny. Played with him, 2 different teams here in St. Louis, Detroit Red Wings. I mean, he is a guy that he's a foxhole guy. He's a guy you want on your team. He knows hockey. He's a gritty dude, all that stuff. And he did the best that he could possibly do with that team. It just wasn't enough.
Guys, earlier today, BK and Ferrario were talking about the NBA and the next wave of superstars or lack thereof. And BK said something interesting at the end of that segment. And this is what he had to say. And then I have a question for you gentlemen.
The league is not built on parity. The NBA is built on superstars. The NBA is built on dynasties. The NBA is built on repeat champion.
So we've been talking about the NBA over the past few weeks, past few months, about there needing to be parity in a sense. When you hear BK say that, do you agree with him? And which leagues in the United States need parity and which ones need dynasties?
I think all leagues need parity. And for me, parity is when multiple teams are winning championships. Like, it's not, and maybe some people don't think that is because you have the same teams kind of competing for it year after year. But I think the parity comes in when you don't have a team that's winning 3 out of 4 years or 4 out of 6 years. And I think for the last, I don't want to say 10 years, but the last 7 or 8 years, you've had multiple teams win championships. I don't know, last back-to-back champion would have been the Golden State Warriors, and that was 17-18. So You've had the Lakers have won, the Raptors have won, the Bucks, the Golden State Warriors, the Nuggets, the Celtics. You'll get a new champion this year. To me, that is parity. That is multiple teams having an opportunity to win a championship. Again, maybe it's not parity in the terms of those same teams are in the playoffs year after year. If you want the Atlanta Hawks to be in the playoffs, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Probably a little ways away, or some of these other teams. But, I think parity is when multiple teams have a chance to win a championship, and it's different year after year.
But is this good for the NBA?
Yeah.
Is it?
I do. I think so. And also, I was just watching, I forget what show it is. Lou Williams was talking about the MVP. The last 7 MVPs have been foreign-born players. It's been Jokic, it's been Giannis, it's been Joel Embiid. This year it's SGA. So that, to me, also adds to it. It's different players, it's different team. Jokic is 3 out of 4, but to me, that also adds to the parity, because they're not just one team dominating both in championships and MVPs.
Yeah, I think parity is the key for any league to be successful, because it gives several fan bases a reason to go to games. If you have dynasties and too many of them, then so many fan bases are frustrated that they don't have a chance to win. Mm-hmm. Like baseball's in a tough spot because the Dodgers and the high-end teams like that, they're creating less parity when it comes down to crunch time. We can talk about the outliers of, well, the Diamondbacks got all the way. All right, but every year we're always talking about the Dodgers, the Yankees, like the Phillies, like no matter what we're talking about them. And I'm not talking about dynasty of championships. Dynasty is just being a really good team.
Right. That's kind of what I'm referring to as well.
Whereas in the NHL, there is a lot of parity.
But there's also what you just said. The Panthers are probably going to go to the Stanley Cup for the 3rd year in a row.
Okay, but look at the way they've done it, though. They're being rewarded for building a good team. They haven't just went out and bought every superstar like the Dodgers.
But the Dodgers haven't even been they've been in the World Series.
The Carolina
Hurricanes,
in the last couple of years. Would you call them a dynasty?
No, they've lost 13 straight Eastern Conference Final games dating back to 2009.
8 years in a row they've made the playoffs.
Yeah, they're a solid franchise.
Okay, but I'm just saying, so what are we calling a dynasty then? Because the Panthers are on the verge of going to another Stanley Cup, we call them a dynasty?
Marsh, who did you pick? Who did you pick to win the Stanley Cup?
I picked the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Who played who in the first round?
They played the Panthers.
It's not just who wins it when it's all said and done. It's whether or not you feel as though that anybody can win it when they enter the playoffs. Or maybe not everybody, but
you need about 4 to 6 teams that you think that legitimately.
So I understand your
point. The Colorado Avalanche could have been a Stanley Cup competitor.
100%.
The Vegas Golden Knights. If you go through the list.
I don't really care either way. I just don't think it's just baseball, though. We have it in football, too. The Chiefs have been to the Super Bowl, it seems like, every single year.
At the start of the playoffs, who'd you pick this year to win it all?
To win it all?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Was it the Chiefs?
Vikings.
Wasn't the Vikings, we know that.
It was the Vikings.
No, it wasn't. He would never pick the Vikings.
I didn't even pick them to win that first game.
I think the Ravens and 49ers. I think
I had the Ravens and 49ers, too, from the start.
At the beginning of the season or in the playoffs?
Playoffs, for me.
I honestly don't remember. I wish I could tell you. But, I mean, you're a Chiefs fan every January and February, because you believe that it doesn't matter who is in the playoffs, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. That's the case.
I believe that
we will win.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that they will have an opportunity to be there, and I like rooting for a team that has a pulse.
That's fair.
As opposed to my favorite team, which doesn't.
I'm just wondering,
Shameful.
There's some people that they don't care.
My favorite team didn't score a touchdown against you at home in week 1. Carey.
You've lost him.
I know.
It was
shameful.
We didn't score a touchdown either.
It's not your fault.
It's either
exactly
Kirk Cousins or it's Central Michigan. And then all of a sudden everything blows up.
He has triggers.
You're like, you are the Winter Soldier, Anthony. You hear a couple different trigger words and you turn into a different person. Don't you dare bring my chips into this. Okay? Did you not see the chip that came through Busch Stadium? Just had his way with your Cardinals? Don't you dare.
Well, hold on a second.
Chipper Jones?
No, Zach McKinstry.
Oh, Kool-Aid's brother.
It's not Kool-Aid's brother.
He's his cousin.
It's not. Trust
Why
me.
do you say
they're
that?
Not
what makes you say that?
Because Kool-Aid is black. Zach McKinstry's white.
Hey,
he is. It's a statement.
I know Kool-Aid was red, Anthony.
Yeah.
What's Kool-Aid McKinstry?
Hey, don't point at Kerry.
Kerry's black. He knows that.
I said don't point at Kerry.
He already knows.
Kool-Aid and Zach aren't brothers?
No.
Nah, you don't know that.
Maybe brothers in the standpoint like you and I are brothers.
Brothers.
I don't know if you are anymore. After that.
Oh, yeah, we are. Come on.
I'd be careful. I'd be
Kerry.
careful.
Hey,
You all saw the movie Four Brothers. Yeah. All the same.
exactly.
Anything's possible.
So, anyways, it's about whether or not you feel
Dark room. A lot of people.
that 4 or 5 teams can win. That would be parity.
I just wonder if there is dynasty, and when we talk about dynasty, what you said, Jamie, about teams being relevant
Yeah.
up until, let's say, like a conference championship game. Like, they're constantly there. Like the Houston Astros, they're always, it seems like, in the the American League.
It feels like they're always
championships here.
competitive.
Absolutely. I wonder if there's fatigue there, or if what BK said, maybe it's not great for the NBA that they have 7 different champions, because I don't know, because we do need a villain of sorts. I just wonder where people fall
think we need
when it
both.
comes to that question.
If I may.
Or if it matters what league it is,
The people that get tired of teams winning championships over and over again are similar to the same people that tried to ban the tush push. They're losers. If you don't like it, play better. If you don't like it, stop it. You can complain because, oh my, they're always in the championship. We never have a chance. You stink. Play better. Be better.
Well, fans
cry
can't
about it.
play.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't.
They can. Yeah,
Kerry,
they can.
I'd be easy on this, okay?
Yeah, they can.
So
So I tell your team to play better. You saw a documentary of that?
saw a documentary one
Yeah,
time.
that guy was wiry.
There's my
Wiry.
Saw a documentary one time where, you know what actually was real life? It's called Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Oh,
Tanya couldn't beat her.
Well, she could.
She
She
did.
did.
You can't beat him,
She
you join
didn't.
them.
Somebody beat her.
You can't beat them, you
Yes.
join them. You can't beat the Eagles. Join them.
Nick.
Be an Eagle fan.
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, be an Eagle fan.
What? I didn't say that. I said
You
Nick.
said Nick.
It could be anybody. Nick Tortelli. Could be him.
What?
I
Where are we?
I think when we're talking about the casual fan, Carey, sometimes it can be annoying seeing the same team there every year.
Root for a different team.
It's not about that. I'm talking about from like an outside perspective.
Play better. Exactly. I ain't mad at the random and Gauntlet. Yeah, you're
Mad
mad
at
at my
himself.
damn self.
Mad
I
at
gotta be
himself.
better. The hell, I'm gonna take it out on Bradford and those guys because they make some interesting
Easy.
questions.
Okay.
Interesting
Don't
questions.
project.
And I said interesting.
He did.
Hell, I know anything before 1981.
Don't ever blame the people who write the questions, Anthony. You know, I've
blaming
never
myself.
done that.
I blame myself.
No, not you.
For not having
Who has
the
fired
knowledge.
poor Grant more times than anyone can count. All right. Well, we do have the Gauntlet coming up in 15 minutes, and thanks to Carey, we have a returning Gauntlet contestant.
Hurt people, man. I don't know what I did to you deserve
No,
that.
you didn't. You're right.
That was brutal.
I was mad at Jamie for bringing up the Falcon. Actually, I was mad at you,
I didn't bring
Marsh.
it up.
I was mad at you.
For what?
Nah, you're like, he is the winter
Yeah,
soldier, but not in a good way.
You talked about your chips.
I'm not ripping a steering wheel out. You're more like, oh, he's brainwashed. That winter soldier.
He was brainwashed,
I know.
but he's had a great comeback, Now he is part of the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Been a while.
All right. Which NFL rookies will make the biggest 2025 impact? That's next on 101 ESPN. Sometimes I wish we could bring conversations that we have in a break on air.
We do need to
people
do something.
get hurt.
Do we start selling the behind the curtain, fast lane behind the curtain, and we start recording?
Can we keep?
We start recording our commercial breaks?
Oh, listen, if we can make money off of it,
the podcast form, because then we can't get fired for saying certain things.
Well, the Rizzuto Show has Riz Show Live. I think we could do a fast lane live and just kind of turn it into our breaks.
Fly?
Yep. People may have to drop their phones off at the front.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Leave your phones.
Yeah, we'd have to have a no phone rule.
Yeah.
That way it's hearsay.
That's great.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I wasn't even there
I
that
don't
night.
recall.
I wasn't there. It's like I told you when you told your Derrick Henry story that I think, Jamie, you told it amazingly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I believe my version was better.
I do. I think so.
Basically,
The same version.
I didn't hear the first one. And you accused me of lying about it.
And you didn't believe me.
How the hell
Or
can I
in me.
believe you if I wasn't here?
You didn't believe in me.
I didn't believe you because I wasn't here.
All I heard was that we are the masters of live shows. No phones. It's just
right.
entertainment, baby.
Yeah.
No rules, just right. That's something else.
We should use
No,
that.
that's the fast lane.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Which NFL rookies will make the biggest impact in 2025? You're going to circle one.
I can only give you one?
Yeah, because knowing you, Kerry, you'll
I'll
go
give you
down the whole
4.
first round. And then Jamie and I'll be like,
listen.
okay, well, I guess that's it.
Took my guy.
I went out of the first round. I
We
even
should go
gave you-
first.
Okay. Yeah, you guys go first.
Anthony?
I won't. I'll play off of yours.
The biggest impact will, of course, not be Travis Hunter. By
That's
the
not
way,
the question.
I know.
What position?
Did you see his exactly? He should be a cornerback. Did you see his route running? Did you see the route running?
Not
It's
great.
still early.
Not great.
Still early.
It's
He's an athlete.
call it-
Same thing I told you about Jordan Walker in the outfield.
We'll call him Happy Feet.
He'll be okay.
He's rounding off his routes. I'm open. No, you're not.
Not in the
Not
NFL.
anymore.
That's-
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Biggest impact is going to be Ashton Genty.
I should have went first.
Ashton Genty will make the
Impacting-
biggest impact in
Impact him
2025.
making this, helping
Stats.
this team make the playoffs?
No,
or
just
every
just
game.
just having a great first season. It's all about opportunity. It's all about how the position, transfers into the NFL. And I think, while running back is difficult to play at the NFL level, even though you're going from college to pro, I still think that's the easiest jump of all the positions.
Okay.
Quarterback, I think, is the most difficult. But even like defensive end, it takes a while. And that everybody's Micah Parsons.
Right.
I think it's difficult to make an immediate impact. So like Abdul Carter, that could be, I thought about Carter, but
he's got some help there though. He can. I mean, he's like the third rusher there.
Sure.
They can do
which
some
goes back to opportunity.
Right.
So I think Ashton Genty, because of that opportunity, is going to make the biggest impact this year.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie,
of the
you go.
rookies.
I was going to pick the same guy, and the only reason I picked Ashton Genty is I think with Pete Carroll going in there, with the quarterback situation that they have, even though Geno Smith is, he's a proven-ish type guy, I think they're going to simplify things. And simplifying it means running the ball very well and effectively and building from that point on. So I think he's going to get a lot of touches.
Okay. Neither of you thought Cam Ward? I mean, he's going to be.
I don't even think he's going to be
one
starting.
Oh, he's going. Who the hell
he'll
they
start.
started? He's
Yeah,
starting. Day one.
Reports out of Tennessee say that he's not yet been named the starter.
Well,
Who are they going to start? Will Levis?
Lions sacks of
I
crap.
don't know, Carey.
Yeah,
I can only tell you what they write.
Yeah, he's starting. So I thought about Cam, but I thought that was too easy. And I'm going to give you a name that I think Marshy's going to hate because I think he's going to be good. And they're in the same division. It's going to be Matthew Golden, the receiver from Texas for the Packers. Got a great quarterback. They've been looking for a number one receiver. I love their passing game and their passing attack with LaFleur and what he's a. He doesn't get talked about in the same way that Sean McVay does, but he's a very intelligent coordinator, head coach, but coordinator in terms of running offense. And this is a team that needed. I don't know if they needed, but they definitely wanted a number one receiver. They were a really good team last year, and I think Jordan Love takes a step forward. When you have the quarterback and you add that player alongside, Romeo Dobbs and Jaden Reed and all those guys that they already have, and the running attack with Josh Jacobs, I think that's going to be the one.
Watch this, Carey. I think James Pierce Jr. will make the biggest impact for his team this upcoming year.
Loves that guy.
Absolutely. Haven't had a pass rush in, ever, but
Patrick Carney got after the quarterback.
Did you activate?
John Abraham, too. And healthy. Yeah. Chuck Smith. They've had some guys. Yeah.
You know why I brought this up?
You don't actually believe that, though.
No, I do, Anthony. I do. I think
I know he doesn't.
They traded up to get this guy. There's a reason why they did that. Despite what you think. I know you hated the move.
They gave up a first-rounder in like half their draft next year for it.
Player.
Nah, that'll be okay.
And then they started, it's just a first round for a first-rounder. No, it's not. The values aren't the same. You impeccable idiots.
Marcy, you activated it.
Gone,
I don't know
he
why
would
you
probably
did
gone
that.
second round, third round. Second round for sure.
No, he wouldn't have went third round.
He went second round.
happened
He
to
might have been
Kerber?
available.
Right. So it makes the move even dumber, right?
Probably.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, Marsh, do you have one that you actually believe?
No, I'm good.
Okay. What about Luther Burden with the Bears?
No, because he won't. I don't think
not
he's going to
gonna
have the
get touches.
opportunities. Yeah.
The Bears had 3 receivers last year. They had Rome, Adunze. They had
Still there.
what's the boy name?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Still
and
there.
they had Keenan Allen there.
And
Keenan
then-
Allen is gone. So they have room
They got
for that third
Loveland
receiver.
now. They've
They got a lot of weapons.
Cole Kmet. Exactly. I don't think that he's going to have the huge.
They didn't
I like the
draft him in
player.
the second round to sit him there.
And the Rams
And-
didn't draft.
Don't say
What's
Tavon
his
Austin.
face? Tavon Austin just.
That was terrible game planning every day. I thought that was the worst thing I've ever seen. You put that man on the outside instead of in the slot, like you did Danny Amendola. I thought that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Well, now that man is head coaching the Dallas Cowboys, so good luck.
That was a dumbass idea. I'm just saying when he had Tavon, we'll put him in the backfield to run the ball. Okay, let me know how that works. He was killing in high school. Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
Not me. I fumbled. That's the only opportunity I had.
We were going to go there, Anthony.
Yeah, but, sometimes you got to. All right. Did you have any other ones, CD? You're good.
You're
good.
Yeah, you said I was going to run down the list, and now I won't run down the list. So
You were going to, then,
no,
weren't
I
you?
wasn't.
Gary.
Sure wasn't.
All right. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
I was.
Jamie, when it comes to our guy Stewie, I love the fact that the same number that you and I called him on for separate, questions that we had about home information for you purchasing a home. I had questions about refi and things like that. Same phone number that you and I used is the same one that we're going to hand out here in a second, because Stewie likes that old school customer service feel. He wants you to know that he cares about you. Once you become a client of his, he'll monitor the rates, he'll monitor the market for you. He knows where things are heading, and he knows your situation's unique than the next person that calls him. Stewie's the absolute best.
Yeah, he is, and it was a pleasure working alongside him. As I said before on these airwaves, I've bought and sold many houses over the course of my lifetime, playing in different cities and even here in St. Louis area. Never was it this easy. From the moment when he gave me my pre-approval letter, which, by the way, he gives you one, and lets you know what your maximum is, so then you can compete effectively against other bids, not losing it because you got to wait for another approval letter. Don't worry about that. Stewie has you covered, and the rest of it was really easy, right down to the last second we were at the closing table. Stewie is right by my side. And he does that for all of our listeners, and he actually loves helping out the 101 ESPN listeners. He loves telling the story because he loves helping people. So pick up the phone, give him a call. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
Call him, text him. He was busy today. He had to skip this phone call because he's out helping people right now. So if he doesn't answer, leave a message or shoot him a text. But if you can't remember that number, Anthony, what can you do?
You can always Google the Bagalone.
NMLS number 226715.
You're in the fast lane on 101. Four warriors, four categories, one challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
4:05, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome Jim back after knocking off Carey yesterday in random trivia. Round 2. Jim, you said yesterday that you were going to go with our guy Jamie Rivers. Are you sticking with that?
I think we have to now, right?
I mean, you don't have to, but I don't know. You did throw it down.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good smoke screen. We've had that before.
We've had that before.
People pivot.
Yep.
Jim strikes me as a gentleman that is very intelligent, very calculated.
Yes.
And, knows what he wants. That's what I think.
It's a good observation, Kerry.
He smoked me at random yesterday. I don't think, from the sounds of it, when I came back in here, it didn't sound like he struggled at all.
Not on a couple of those, no.
Not as much as you did, but that's fine.
Thanks for the reminder.
You're fine.
Good luck today.
Jim, are you choosing Jamie Rivers?
Yeah, let's go, Rivers. Let's go, baby.
All right, Jim, good luck, buddy.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you.
All right, Jamie's going to head into the cone of silence. Jim, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
All right, you were hoping for random yesterday, although you waited until after the wheel was done. So the wheel already knows that you like random. So I'm interested to see what happens today. What category do we have?
We have football today.
How do you feel about foosball?
I love me some foosball.
Okay, all right. Well, you're going to get 4 football-related questions. Each one is worth 2 points. Thank you, Marsh. Unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, that's worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Which team holds the record for longest regular season win streak in NFL history? This team won 23 consecutive regular season games in the late 2000s.
Oh, man. The New England Patriots.
Final answer?
Yes. Final answer.
Question number 2. Happy birthday to Steve Smith Sr., whose birthday was May 12th. Name the 2 teams he played for in his career.
Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are set to kick off the 2025 NFL season when they host which team on September 4th?
Oh, man. Can I get the options on that?
Options are the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Washington Commanders.
I knew this one. It was the Cowboys.
Final answer?
Final answer. Final answer.
And final question for you, Jim. Name the head coach of Indiana's football program who won the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award in college football last season.
I need the options on that one, I think.
Okay. Kurt Cignetti, Spencer Danielson, or Kenny Dillingham?
It's the first one, Cignetti. Final answer.
Kurt Cignetti is your final answer. All right, let's bring back our guy, Jamie Rivers. Jim, how you feeling?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Jamie, how you feeling?
I feel pretty good.
I feel good.
How'd my guy Jim do?
Pack a lunch.
Football is your category. Football.
Love football, Carey.
You do?
Yep.
Here we go. Which team holds the record for longest regular season win streak in NFL history? This team won 23 consecutive regular season games in the late 2000s.
It's got to be the Patriots. Because their one season ended and the other one picked up, and then they went all the way through undefeated but lost in the final. Maybe the Patriots, right?
I'll ask the questions around here.
New England Patriots, final answer.
Question number 2. Happy birthday to Steve Smith Sr., whose birthday was May 12th. Name the 2 teams that he played for in his career.
Oh, I know one. Options, please.
Is it the Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens, the Carolina Panthers and Minnesota Vikings, the Carolina Panthers and Tennessee Titans?
A, please, final answer.
Question number 3. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are set to kick off the 2025 NFL season when they host which team on September 4th?
Options, please.
Your options are the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Washington Commanders.
Oh, boy. Probably should have paid attention the other day. We were talking about this, which I was, but I was focused on different games, looking at my Lions schedule. Go through that again, please.
Is it the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or the Washington Commanders?
Oh, yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers, final answer.
Question number...
Aaron Rodgers is going to be under center for that one.
That's on you.
Oh, you can read it.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
You don't have an opportunity to read the fourth.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be his quarterback.
You want me to read it?
Sure, go ahead.
Name the head coach of Indiana's football program who won the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award in college football last year.
Options.
Is it Kurt Cignetti, Spencer Danielson, or Kenny Dillingham?
Cignetti, final answer.
All right, let's go over these. Jamie versus our guy, Jim. Round 2 of the Gauntlet. Let's start with that last question. Name the head coach of Indiana's football program who won the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award in college football last season. You both took the options. You both said Kurt Cignetti. Correct answer is...
It's Kurt Cignetti.
Nice job, guys. We've got a 1-1 tie. 1-1 tie. Which team holds the record for the longest regular season win streak in NFL history? This team won 23 consecutive regular season games in the late 2000s. You both said F them options. You both landed on the New England Patriots. Correct answer, of course, is...
The Indianapolis Colts.
What? Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning and Kerry Davis.
Oh, wow.
That's a good time.
You were on that team at one point.
At one point I was.
Yeah, it was the Indianapolis Colts.
I think it's wrong.
Okay.
We got a 1-1 tie.
Jim, we're protesting.
Happy birthday to Steve Smith Jr., whose birthday was... Senior, excuse me.
That'd be his son.
Yeah, that'd be his son, Junior.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Take 2. Happy birthday to Steve Smith Sr., whose birthday was on May 12th. Name the 2 teams he played for in his career. You both said the Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens. Correct answer is...
It's the Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it was the Panthers and the Ravens, which Jim knew without the options.
Whatever, Jim. Hero.
So here's where we're at. Jim, 3 points. Jamie, 2 points. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles are set to kick off the 2025 NFL season when they host which team on September 4th? You both took the options. You both have different answers.
Oh, baby, walk it off.
Jamie has the Steelers. Jim has the Cowboys. If it's the Commanders, Jim wins by 1. If it's Cowboys, Jim wins by 2. If it's the Steelers, as Jamie's preparing for,
oh, I'm ready.
We have a walk-off. Jim.
You have chosen wisely.
Correct answer is
It's the Dallas Cowboys.
the Dallas Cowboys that the Eagles will play in week 1.
Who the hell did the Steelers play in week 1?
Jets.
Oh, the Jets!
It's Justin Fields' revenge game.
Green team.
Did I just fake you out? I think I did.
Some serious pouting going on here.
I'm really upset.
Oh, you can
He
take
was
your...
so sure.
You can take
was
your,
so
you know
sure
what?
is right.
I even pulled up the walk-off sounder. I looked like I was going to play it, and then Uno reverse card.
Nice job. So, Tanisha from the Snake Pit says, Jamie ever been to the penalty box? I don't remember
I've been to
you've
the
ever
penalty
been
box
to
a
that.
lot.
Well, not in here.
I don't think you've ever been.
Not this version. Whatever.
Jim, congrats, man. You got round 3. You'll take on either
Congrats,
Marsh
Jim. You're the best.
or me tomorrow. Don't worry about Jamie. You won today, fair and square, 4-2.
I'm mad at you, Jim.
over
I'm mad at
Jamie.
me, okay?
Awesome. I appreciate it. Jamie's only on a 120 game winning streak, so I thought he was good.
Nice job, man.
Good job,
Congrats.
buddy.
You'll
Good
be back
job, man.
tomorrow.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right,
later,
we'll
buddy.
see you.
I thought I had it so bad.
You've never
You were very
been
confident.
that way. I mean, hockey, sure, but
Well, because in my head, I was thinking, okay, I know it's a big game because we've already teased Carey about Aaron Rodgers being the Steelers quarterback. I was like, oh, yeah, of course. And I was like, it was the damn Jets. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that's right, because they said the NFL is scripted. So why wouldn't it be the Jets Steelers?
don't do that.
I didn't say it, Carey did.
Stay mad at yourself, okay?
He's taking shots at
He's
everybody.
taking shots at everybody.
Yeah. He's a shot at Jim, shot at me.
Everything right now.
The whole NFL.
Jamie was 15-1 this year before today.
And I don't think he's ever been in the penalty box because the loss occurred
On the road?
on the road from your hotel radio studio setup.
No.
How'd I do that?
If you're either going to buy
How'd I
in,
do?
not good. Average.
Mid.
From your road studio.
From your road studio.
There you go.
I left it warm back there for you, Jamie.
Are you kind of happy, Carey? You are. You're kind of happy.
You're tap
Do you know how
dancing on my
terrible
grave.
that place is? I want you to hear how hard it is to hear
What
yourself.
kind of a friggin' teammate are
I'm
you?
sorry, Jamie.
You're the guy,
I
your teammate
apologize.
gets blown up and you're celebrating because the guy before they hit you've hard. Oh, yeah, see, it's hard. You got it too.
Wow.
Who do you think he goes with tomorrow?
He's a nice guy. He's going to avoid you.
I don't think he's really that nice of a guy, though.
Oh, I think
he's
is.
calculated.
I think
Like,
but he's still you could be
very calculated. Like I think of the movie Law Abiding Citizen. I don't know why. That might be a bit too far, but yeah.
with Mr. 300 there.
Yeah.
Butler.
Yeah.
Mr.
Gerard
3000, Jagger?
Yeah. Have you seen that? Not that.
Yeah, I took a shot.
I guess I got it down too. Huh? Are you done? You got anything for Marsh? Huh? Before you go to the penalty box.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Hey, you had a great effort today, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot, Marshy.
All right. As Jamie makes his way to the penalty box,
Jerk.
we'll talk about based on recent success. Do we think Oli Marmol is the guy to lead this team to the next phase?
He's so bad.
He is. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, and joining us from the penalty box is Jamie Rivers.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going over there?
He is so upset.
Wonderful. Anthony, thank you for asking.
How's that chair working out for you?
Can you hear yourself?
I just think it's hilarious.
He's
You are so
happy.
angry.
Why are you
he's
laughing?
so happy.
Because you're so
Your teammates'
mad.
failures. You laugh
I'm
at.
not laughing at your failure. I'm laughing at when I walked in, you just cursed me out. Like, go fast lane yourself, Gary. I'm like, what the hell did I do?
Wanted to beat you to it before you say something making fun of me. Fast lane you.
Nobody's making fun of you. Everybody
You know what, Anthony? I don't need
still believes.
You're patronizing either. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Take
you know
your
what?
holier than thou crap out of here.
You know what, Jamie? You were giving Carey a lot of beef yesterday.
I sure did.
You had a spicy burrito for him, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
When you looked at him and say, really? That's the movie you chose?
You did. The banana.
Well, Mighty Joe Young, no matter what year it was released, was never a comedy.
Either way.
I didn't know
Either
that.
way. You shamed
I didn't even hear no one say comedy.
You shamed him, Jamie.
Anthony, stow it, okay?
Tell you something you
You're
don't
the
know.
guy with the side eye to me when he said it.
Tell you something you don't know. Carey called me last night.
No, he didn't.
Called me. And I said, Jamie's a good guy. He means well. Sometimes he's going to shame and judge people. That's not a you problem, Carey. It's a him problem.
It's not a shame thing. It's a critique.
There is a trend going around by the kids, by the way, that it's a trend where guys will, it's like a TikTok thing, where guys will call their friends and tell them good night. And that's it.
That's nice.
Is that what you two did?
No, Carey was confiding in me how much.
Apparently that worked out well.
Jamie was just an awful human being, and I said, "Listen, man, he is, but he's still your teammate. You still got to support him."
He's not supporting me at all. He's laughing his ass off.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Carey, you better keep looking in that camera over your shoulder.
It's a delay, too.
Looking.
That's why I keep turning around.
Turn your back on me.
Marsh, what were you saying?
Nothing.
All right. Jamie, based on recent success, do we think Oli Marmol is the guy to lead the Cards to the next phase?
You pick now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he is or not, but I can't even. Anthony, what do you think?
Can't hear yourself. Is it hard to hear you?
I don't even know what's going on back here. It's like I'm locked in a closet with earplugs in.
So I will say, for Oli, this is why I think we give too much credit when teams are playing well and too much blame when they're playing poorly. Right? For the last couple of years, everything that has happened is Oli's fault.
Every wrong thing.
Every wrong
bad,
it
every
was all
bad
bad.
thing.
It was pretty much all bad. And it was all Oli's fault. Not the fact that the team didn't perform well, not the fact that, pitchers weren't good enough or, your lineup wasn't good enough. It was on the manager. Mm-hmm. And so now that they are playing well, he should get the same amount of credit that he got the same amount of blame.
You're adorable.
So cute.
I believe that's how that should work. Uh-huh. But for whatever reason, now all of a sudden, the players are playing better. No bleep, dummy. Yeah. And before, were they playing better or were they just stinking? They stunk. They know it.
Well, it was a roster he was given, too.
It was what he had.
Yep.
There was no way around it. He had to play the guys that were there. Yeah, well, I mean, with all due respect. And I mean this with all due respect.
He's really going to double down.
Yeah. Taylor Motter.
Oh, Carey.
Could not.
Taylor Motter? What did Motter do?
Sure
You didn't like the Mott sauce?
I think Taylor Motter was a great man. Great man.
I didn't question that.
I think he's a great man. I don't think he was going to help you win baseball games. He started probably 25, 30 games. Maybe that's not a lot. I don't know.
In 4 different positions.
Played a lot.
Yeah.
And that's what's the second baseman's name?
Oh, Nolan Gorman.
No, not him.
Brendan Donovan.
Nope, not him either.
Brandon Crawford.
Tommy
keep
Edman.
going. Nope, keep going. A couple years ago.
Edgar Renteria.
No,
he's a shortstop.
Infielder. Maybe
Ryan Terrio.
No.
Brandon
How far
Crawford.
back are we going?
2 years ago.
Jose Fermin.
That's who I'm looking for.
Long.
The Ferminator.
The Ferminator.
He's still here.
Edmundo
That's who I was
Sosa.
looking for. Him too.
He's actually not that bad of a player.
He's not. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he just hit an umpire in the head. That's it.
Yeah.
Who says he did it on purpose, right? Like, who knows? Maybe he's buzzing the tower a little bit. So my question when I came up with this is, I believe this is Ollie's last year on his contract. Am I right or am I wrong with that?
No, you got an extension.
Yeah,
so 2-year extension.
So you got one more year
Yeah.
next year.
Yes.
So you just wonder with Chaim Bloom taking over if Chaim Bloom is going to want to bring in his own guy, whoever that may be.
Yep.
And then you wonder if the Cardinals are looking at this team now, who we all thought they would not be as good as they currently are. If now Chaim Bloom's like, oh, maybe Ollie's the right guy to take these young guys to the next phase of what we're doing here. Seems like he's had an impact along with the staff, because it looks like he finally has the right staff in place. Or do they just say, bleep that, Skip Schumacher's available, and Ollie, it's been nice, thank you for your service, we're moving on?
If Bloom, I feel as though to answer your question, Jamie, if Bloom already wants his guy, there's nothing Ollie can do. I really do believe that. I think if Bloom has his eyes set on, let's just use Skip Schumacher as an example, right? On Skip Schumacher, then Ollie's gone. Look at Army. You know, Army knew that Jim Montgomery became available.
Yeah.
And as soon as he made it, didn't really become about Drew Bannister at that point.
No,
It became about Jim Montgomery. And there is no Jim Montgomery available now, but maybe in Bloom's mind, Skip Schumacher is the guy. So I think that's all said and done. I'll answer it this way, because, you know, to go back to the question, based on recent success, you think Ollie's the guy. In the regular season, to me, the manager, the lineup isn't the most important thing. The bullpen decisions aren't the most important thing, because it all kind of comes out in the wash in over 162 games. It's a marathon. The most important thing a manager needs to do is manage the young guys through the ups and downs, manage the aging superstar, and take a melting pot, in most cases, of a clubhouse and make sure everybody stays united over 162 games. When we get to the postseason, though, if you don't give your team a strategic advantage from game to game where every out is crucial, that is when I think a manager, from a tactical standpoint, is a great manager is most needed.
So if we're not evaluating the manager on the regular season per se, then you can't evaluate him for the bad seasons either then.
No, that's what I'm saying. Regular season, can you keep everybody together through ups and downs? Because you're going to have bad streaks.
But I'm just talking about the last two seasons have not been good for the Cardinals.
No, they haven't.
Is Ollie personally responsible for that?
He's not personally responsible, but he is culpable.
Okay. Is he culpable now in a different way for the team's success?
Absolutely, yeah.
So give him credit.
I do give him credit, but
I'm not
you guys...
saying you.
He's the right
saying
guy
general.
to lead them to the next phase.
Because I think, Anthony, so many people, I can't see the text line because I don't have one over here and it's so far away I can't see Carey's.
It's Bruce Arians' headphones over there. That computer's not even plugged in.
But I can imagine the text line, for the most part, is probably saying, get rid of him. That's fine. Move on from Ollie. What has he ever done? He's got...
Right.
But in fairness to Ollie, this is the first time he's been given, a clean slate. Like every other year, he's been handcuffed with aging players that are plugging the holes with Matt Carpenter, Brandon Crawford, Lance Litt. Like, what's he supposed to do with old toys like that? Where now you give him this young developing team for the most part, and they're thriving under Ollie. So which version is the true Ollie? Is it the one where we think he should be fired, or the one that's doing a great job developing this young team that's fun to watch?
I think the truest version of him is the team that actually plays well. And you get I think we just put too much on coaches and managers in terms of...
If that's the case, then nobody should be fired then, Carey.
I'm not saying that. There are some dumbass decisions that people make, and they deserve to be fired. I don't think Ollie fits in that category. I think when you're looking at the roster that he was given, what else could he do? Where else could he go? If last year Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado aren't hitting... who are you going to replace them with? No one. And so you're stuck with what you have, and you have to ride it out in hopes that the players that are there are going to be better, because there was not a better solution on the bench. There was no one he could go to and say, all right, I'm going to give you a week off. I'm going to give you 3 days off. Why? With who? Who's better? So I think the team that he was given, especially the last couple of years, didn't do him any justice in terms of having a chance to win games. I think this year they went in a way. They decided to go in a direction that will allow them younger players to sink or swim. And so far they've been swimming. Now if they stunk, you could blame him, but I don't know that it would be his fault then either.
I think the Cardinals are in actually a really good situation, because if they continue to play good baseball, you have Oli for next year, and then that is the expectation year where you're like, okay, are we going to continue to improve, or are we going to take a step back? If we take a step back in 2026, sorry, we're going to move on, and Chaim Bloom gets his guy. If they take that step forward, then you can start having conversations and be like, okay, maybe Oli Marmol is the guy moving forward. We're starting to see progression over these 2 years. And if the Cardinals don't do anything this year and they're like a 80-win team, they take a step back as the season progresses, well, Chaim Bloom comes in, and maybe then you make that decision before Oli goes into being, his final year. Mm-hmm. I think they're set up really well depending on the rest of this regular season and how things play out next year. I don't think you could go wrong with any decision, because if they do play really good baseball, why would you fire a manager?
Right.
We've seen it happen before. How's that going?
It's going great for him.
Well,
actually.
you got Oli.
He's going great for him, actually.
Well, yeah, they do last year.
That's a new year. Yeah,
actually, they did very well. Yeah, they just
NLDS.
Yeah,
they ran into a buzzsaw
a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
Jamie, come on out.
You're done, Jamie. You served your penalty. Oh! Cut the cameras. Bet the board decks on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are off today. They'll take on the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow. Zach Gallen will take on Miles Michaelis, and first pitch is at 7:15, and you can watch that game on Apple TV+. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have Game 2 of the NHL Eastern Conference Final between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers lead that series 1-0. Pre-game for that one starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. We'll see who might take the Florida Panthers or the Carolina Hurricanes in Bet the Board. That's next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
I knew you were ticked at me today, Marsh. I knew it. What? And you just proved it.
Marshy, don't let him talk.
What are you
like
doing?
that. No. He's looking out for a teammate, something you guys don't know anything about.
Well, we've just all
Carey.
looked out for Marsh and Jamie recently. I hand you guys picks that you didn't.
Why are you
didn't
upset
earn.
with me?
Didn't deserve.
Why are you upset with the facts?
Jamie, for those that don't know, thought that he lost last night.
No, it was a test.
In Bet the Board.
You thought you lost.
No,
You
it's
said
a
it.
test.
You said it 3 or 4
God,
times today.
It was a test.
He came in the office
To
that
my
way.
teammates. And there's only one that passed the test. That guy's Andrew Marsh.
He's a great guy.
The other two
but-
scumbags.
So you know what? You're right, Jamie. Remember how I've been being called out for quote unquote cheating and Bet the Board?
You did.
That right there is a form of cheating.
If
Yes.
you don't
Trying
know,
to take a point away.
no. If you don't
Omission
know,
can still be
it's
lying.
not cheating. It's not omission. I didn't know. It's not my job to
didn't
look
know
up
either.
your play.
I know. I didn't
He's
ask
supposed
you
to look it up.
I did.
You didn't until he told you
He's
to.
a good teammate.
So this is what happened. Jamie, who came in the office, says, I didn't get my point last night. Didn't get my power play point
It was
last
a
night from
test.
Connor McDavid. And we're like,
multiple
oh, man, that
times.
stinks. I didn't know.
I
was
didn't look
waiting
it
to hear an answer.
I
Said it
believed him.
again. Jamie, right before he came on air. Well, I guess we're tied now, all right? I'm like, yeah. No, actually, you're like, no, I'm one behind. I go, no, Jamie, we're even now.
Yeah,
Marsh.
that's terrible that you did that, by the way.
Well, you said you didn't
Yeah.
hit.
Carey, stay in your lane.
You just
And then
going off what
Marsh
you said.
goes,
Oh, no, you got it.
you got it.
Yeah. Andrew, thank you.
I'm just doing my job.
You're right. Thank you. He's verifying. What we say? Trust yet verify? I
Did
can't
you get
trust
your point
you
yet
at
last
all.
night, Marsh?
No. I don't know why I counted on a Minnesota team to help me out,
All right, well,
even if it was the
Jamie.
WNBA.
That's right. You went
Did
back
they
to the
win?
W.
They won by like 4. Minus 650 to win the money line. They won by 4.
Carey and I did go. That's a lot of points.
felt
to be
like a
laying.
lot.
It felt like a lot. But you know what? You're fine. All right, go ahead, Jamie.
Well, Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes tonight. I think the Hurricanes probably be a little bit ticked off. Lost game 1 in their building. Pretty bad, too. They're at minus 136 tonight on the money line. But I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers at plus 123. Carolina Hurricanes. Marshy, how many games has it been since they won a conference game?
I believe it's been 13.
Yeah.
13
Tonight
games.
is not the night.
Going
Florida
back
Panthers,
to 2009
Yeah.
is when the streak started.
well, plus 126. Panthers on the money line. Anthony.
Stupid Dodgers playing tonight. Let's see.
Nope.
All right, give me the over 5.5 on that game. Florida, Carolina, over 5.5. High scoring game.
Could be.
Carolina sucks, which is why I wanted the Panthers.
You want
Who I
Panthers?
would have taken.
You want that one?
Yeah.
Do you want it now?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Give me.
I was going to give it to you if you said it.
No, I wasn't.
No,
I really
Not
wasn't.
this time.
I'm going to tell you that.
Give me Marcell Ozuna, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI. Minus 140 for those that are double checking.
Who is it? What?
Marcell Ozuna.
Check that, please.
Yeah, you do what you
I don't
need
trust
to do.
Kerry.
I trust him.
I haven't cheated.
I trust Carey.
You just
one time.
did.
I didn't
He didn't know.
And I didn't know what the money line was when I picked
You
the
could have
Celtics.
just.
I didn't look at it and be like, you know what, I think I'm going to cheat today.
It was 5.5. You think the money line was going to be under minus 150? Come on, Marshy.
That's close.
Anthony, you have to
Not
move
even
past
close.
it, okay?
They didn't have Jason Tatum.
What's your pick?
I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers.
Not a word.
Florida Panthers over 2.5 team total goals at minus 130.
I will check that.
Go ahead.
Jamie, what did you pick?
Florida Panthers money line.
Oh, Marsh. Could have been even. Could have been even and bet the board, but no, not a chance.
And Anthony, what did you pick again?
Sorry, Anthony, I don't like dynasties. I don't like
Over
back-to-back-to-back champions, especially in bet the board.
4.5?
Over 5.5.
4?
The game tonight, the Panthers and Hurricanes.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Did you check me after I said I was going to check you?
I just checked.
Wow.
There's a lot of mistrust in here.
There's totally a lot of
There's
mistrust.
a lot going on.
All right, hey, I do want to do this. I don't know if he's paying attention right now. But our guy, Mike Ryder, turned the old 4-0 today. Happy birthday to our guy, Mike. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryder. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, brother. Hardest working person in this building.
Better believe it.
By a
I'm not
long
even going to
shot.
make a joke about it.
It is, I mean, not even close. That man wears so many hats.
We appreciate
And
you,
hopefully
brother.
tonight he wears a birthday hat. Yeah. In his birthday suit. Have a good night, Mike.
No party hat there.
No, sir.
Oh, you know Anthony.
But I got 3 kids. Sports Six Pack is coming up in a little bit, but we're going to talk a little Radek Faksa next. Can the Blues keep both Sunny and Faksa in their lineup and take steps forward? We'll discuss that next on 101 ESPN.
Well, we just did our Bet the Board segment, and I was using my Circus Sports Illinois app to check out all the odds on there. And I can tell you this, that Circus Sports Illinois, they have the best odds of any app that's out there. Download all the others and take a look at the odds. You'll see that Circus Sports has the best odds, which means the biggest payouts out there as well. It's sports betting the way it should be, quite honestly. And tonight, I already gave you guys my pick, but I'm going to do it again just in case you weren't listening. Florida Panthers are an underdog at plus 123 on the money line, although I think they get this one again down in Carolina. So that's my bet on Circus Sports Illinois. And they also have great lines on all their futures bets. We talked about the money line splits already, and they got high betting limits as well for those who want to get a little more crazy out there, which happens from time to time. It's extremely user-friendly, easy to download, easy to find on their website as well as the App Store. So please don't miss out on any of the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circus Sports Illinois app today and join in on all the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
So can the Blues keep both Sunny and Faksa in their lineup and take steps forward? Before we dive into this conversation, here's Doug Armstrong in his postseason presser on the play of Faksa.
He and I had a good conversation. It's something that I want to reflect back on. We want to grow. We have young players that we want to grow, but we don't want to disregard what he meant to us. And again, that's a different part, Frank, where we're at in our maturation. If we expect to be good again and we have to keep good players here, he has to want to stay here too. There's a lot that goes on, but that line was our identity. I've seen what an identity line can do, and he's someone that I want to let the dust settle. I want to sit with Alex. I want to sit with our coaches to find out what we have coming, who can fill some of these roles. He and Suter specifically came in, veteran players, one-year deals, and they gave us everything that we could want and more. And Fak's a guy that I told how privileged I was to work with, and we're going to talk to him.
All right, so, Jamie, some talk regarding re-signing Faksa. You heard what Army had to say about it. If they do, does that mean a smaller role for Sunny, or will the Blues look to move Sunny?
Yeah, it's a tough situation, right, guys? Because you're looking for the team to take the next steps forward as well. Like, not just get in as a wild card team. Like, the expectation next year, come training camp, should be we are a playoff team. We're higher than the second wild card, though. This, like, we have to keep moving forward. Can you do that with two players that are so similar? They're both big guys, both not the fleetest of foot. They're shot blockers. They're identity-type players, but they're also your third and fourth line centers. And so we're talking about bringing in, the Blues could bring in a Sam Bennett. Let's just use that just for the exercise here. Mm-hmm. That would bump Braden Shen down to third line, which would bump Oscar Sundqvist to where? Fourth line? But then he's in direct competition with Radek Faksa, who is a carbon copy of him as a left-handed shot, Sunny a right-handed shot. They're basically the same player. So if Army is so content on bringing Radek Faksa back, is he content on keeping Oscar Sundqvist? And people say, well, you just move him to the wing. Which one? Because right now, if you move Oscar Sundqvist to the wing, he's going to take ice time from Zach Bolduc or Jimmy Snuggerud.
No, thank you.
Or if you go the other way, like you got Matthew Joseph, you're like, okay, but then you're expecting more from Texier next year. Texier has the potential to play a lot better than he did this past season. He had some injury things going on, some stuff that he was dealing with. We didn't get the best version of Texier, but we saw how fast Joseph was, and we saw how fast Texier was. Mm-hmm. Do you want to lose some of that team speed?
Not really.
Not really, right? So, and going to the top six forwards, like obviously Sonny doesn't fit in up there. Now, for the purpose of the exercise, Sonny was on your power play, too. He was on your second power play unit because he was a big body, liked to stand in front. And when you look at the stats, this year, Sonny played 67 games at 20 points. Radek Faksa played 70 games, so 3 games more, and had 15 points, 5 points less. But neither of these guys is in your lineup to create offense. They're really not. Anything that they do offensively is a nice bonus to chip in. So you're not worried about that. But let's go back to the big run that they had and the playoffs. Who was their identity line?
Fourth line.
Torpo, Faksa, Walker. They started almost every game.
Yeah.
Playoffs too. And again, like Army said, Faksa has to want to come back, of course. But if I'm Radek Faksa and I know that Doug Armstrong likes me, and I know that Jim Montgomery loves me, why would I go somewhere else? Because I have more value to the Blues than I do another team that doesn't really quite know what I am right now.
Sure.
So if I'm Radek Faksa, I might take a little less than what I think to stay here. But if so, again, the dance floor gets crowded when you have both Sonny and Faksa. And I'm not saying who I would pick and who I would let go. I'm just asking you guys, too. Like, do you see a world where both of those guys are still in your lineup?
Not the way you described it. No, you broke it down perfectly. Absolutely not. No.
So it's tough, right?
Yeah. So it's either bring back. So let's just summarize here. Let's just make it simple. The Blues either bring back Radek Faksa and move Oscar Sundqvist, as in move outside of the organization, or they don't re-sign Radek Faksa and they keep Sonny, who's under contract.
And it's tough because Oscar Sundqvist is a very big fan favorite here in St. Louis. I love the guy, and people love him around town. He does all sorts of charity work. He's an unbelievable dude. Somebody writes on here, well, Sonny kills penalties, too. So does Radek Faksa. So I don't know. Carey, what do you think?
You said that's only if they're able to get a second-line center this offseason. Because if you don't, then you potentially could keep both of them.
You could.
And Sonny would be your third line.
But then how do you take steps forward is what I guess what I'm asking.
Yeah,
because you basically have the same player playing 2 different spots in your lineup.
Then you need to, if you're unable to do something in terms of this offseason or free agency, you need Dalibor Dvorsky to take that step further so that he can become either that second or third line center. And now Sonny or Radek Faksa are no longer there. Like that, you have the guy in the system. He's here, but he's not. Maybe not ready at this moment. Yeah. So I think it has to be, if you're not able to go outside, you probably just run it back with those 2 guys. And, I mean, is it ideal? Maybe you probably want an upgrade, but if you're unable to, you're going to have to go back with those 2 guys. You re-sign Faksa and Sonny is already under contract.
Marshy, what do you think?
I think my biggest question is, can Oscar Sundqvist replicate what Radek Faksa did on that fourth line? No. Do you think that he can do that?
I think he can. I do, because I think they're the same player.
But one's a left-handed shot, one's a right-handed shot.
But that's my point then.
Right.
If Army's talking about bringing back Radek Faksa, it's because he has a specific plan for Radek Faksa. You don't just sign an unrestricted free agent with no plan.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Like, Sundqvist being a huge St. Louis guy, a fan favorite and all that, we talked about culture and whatnot. I wonder if you take him out of that locker room, with all the young guys? Like, what does that look like? I'm not saying that there aren't any other culture guys in there. It's just a question that I think they need to figure out if they are to choose between one or the other. Like, what is more valuable?
And I think the Blues have to be careful, too. They don't emulate the Cardinals. Well, we brought him back because he wanted to be here. And he's a great... No, I'm not being a jerk right now.
That was funny.
But like Matt Carpenter, like people like Lance Lynn and those guys, well, he wanted to be here, and people, he loves St. Louis. And yeah,
great.
Yeah, guess what? That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. I love St. Louis, too. I did. And they traded me. Twice.
And you still kept coming back.
And I still came back, right? So...
This guy just won't leave.
In my world... I don't see a world where they're both on the same roster. So whether that means Army does not re-sign Radek Faksa and Oscar Sundqvist slides down to be a part of that identity line, or whether it means Faksa's in and somewhere new for Oscar Sundqvist.
It sounded like they want to do business with Faksa.
It sure did, Kerry.
And Faksa is going to be more than he was $3 million last year, so he's going to be.
He's not going to be anymore. He'll drop. He'll take a haircut.
He'll take less.
Oh, he's going to have to.
2.5. But if the reason why I'm saying
somewhere
that,
closer to 2. The
reason why I'm saying it is if you do re-sign him, you're essentially saying if you go out and sign another center, you're probably moving on from the guy that you didn't just sign this offseason.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
That's the nature of the business,
and if we want to go one step further with it, I'll tell you right now, as I pull up on good old cap wages, which is my favorite spot to look, they're not paying me to say that either. Yeah, they could. So Oscar Sundqvist is making $1.5 million. I see a world where Radek Faksa is making somewhere between 1.5 and 2 million. So you're basically, again, essentially the same player. So I don't know. I could be crazy. Maybe they run it back with the exact same group of guys. I don't know how you move the ball forward unless you're really anticipating your young guys, again, taking big steps forward.
That's Jamie Rivers, Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got part 1 of our Sports Six-Pack coming up, so if you've got a question for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Again, part 1 of the Six-Pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
5:05 your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marsh, question 1, please.
Question number 1.
Guys, earlier today we brought up the Knicks and Pacers Game 1 game as Tyrese Halliburton.
Biggest choke job in professional sports history.
Nah, it's
really
up there, though. I don't know about the biggest.
It's close, but, there's other teams.
The Duke game?
Thinking more
Super Bowl.
A football game.
Marsh, your question was?
Football game, Anthony, was Vikings-Colts.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Matt Ryan again. Jeez.
From the 636, do you think the Pacers-Knicks game and series helps make up for the lack of stars like LeBron, Curry, etc. in terms of garnering interest?
I think Tyrese Halliburton, everyone is saying he's not a star. This man was on the Olympic team. He didn't play much, but he was also he was on the Olympic team, won a gold medal this summer, and was voted the most overrated player in all of the association.
Ouch.
And he has been taking that. He
don't like it.
Nah, not at all. He took that personally, as one great man that played for the Bulls once said.
Scottie Pippen.
No, Michael Jordan.
Horace Grant.
No, the other one. So yeah,
Bill Cartwright.
you can keep going. Bill
B.J.
Winnington.
Armstrong.
Bill Winnington. Okay. Scotty Williams. Okay.
Luke.
Scott Livingston.
Tony
Cliff Livingston.
Kukoc.
Okay. No. The greatest Chicago Bull of all time said. He took it personally. Tyrese Halliburton is showing that he is a hell of a player and finding a way to win. Jalen Brunson is a hell of a player. And I do think it's going to be a really good series. I do think the fact that the New York Knicks are in the conference finals does help for ratings purposes, because you got a lot of Knicks fans that haven't seen their team be or make it to a NBA final since 1999.
That's since Whoopi Goldberg was their head coach.
That was a movie, and it was a documentary.
I saw it. She came in from the cheap seats and wound up coaching the team.
That
did a hell of a job, too.
What documentary was that?
I don't remember the name.
That's amazing that you just said that, by the way.
I forgot about that.
Do you remember that?
That's unbelievable. It's unreal.
They played well.
It has been that long since they were actually good. You're not wrong. They had it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. The 90s. CD, I know what you're saying. It's been the 90s.
I thought in the 90s their arena got all screwed up from Godzilla laying a bunch of eggs in
They
it.
rebuilt it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, the New York Knicks being in the conference finals is good, and like I said, Halliburton. He may not be a name that people know, but if you watch him play, he is fearless.
He can play.
This is the second time that I've seen him rush out. Did the same thing against the Cavs to send them packing in a game. And last night, he thought he hit the game-winning shot. His toe was on the line. And then he just went into overtime, and they beat the hell out of the Knicks in overtime. So, it's for me, it's been a good series. One game, but I think it's going to be a good series.
I do think the NBA needed that game, though. That was like the game of the playoffs, with how everything transpired.
Absolutely. I agree.
Question number 2.
From the 662, just curious, which do you prefer to watch or attend? College or NFL? Football? College football or the NFL?
I like to watch
What college game is it? Because if it's like a team from the MAC, I'll pass.
Have you ever been?
Exactly.
What if it's
no desire?
What if it's Georgia Tech?
I don't think you've ever been to Kelly.
Georgia Tech? I've been to one of those.
you didn't know you were there. I think live college. I think TV pro.
Yeah, I would agree. Been to a couple of college games. It was unbelievable. One I can't remember. So obviously I had a good time.
Yeah.
And then the Big House was another one. Michigan, Notre Dame. That was cool.
You and I were there at the same time.
Yeah, we were.
Same game.
Yeah, and got down on the sidelines and all that. It was pretty awesome. Really cool.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with what you said. College football in person is it's different. I don't know why. The environment, the stadiums are bigger.
Bands are going.
Yeah, the stadiums are bigger. So yeah, I could agree with that.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I do like the NFL product. I like, I like knowing guys are going to catch the ball when they're wide open. And sometimes, college, it can be hit or miss.
I just think the environment is more exciting in college.
I agree with that.
The NFL, there's a lot of stoppages.
Yeah.
And they try to do, the in stadium games and stuff like that. It's okay. But yeah, I think it's got to be college.
I agree.
Question number 3.
From the 636, should Major League Baseball be embarrassed if the Pittsburgh Pirates trade Paul Skeens this deadline?
Absolutely. By the way, Bacon Wrapped Wiener absolutely nailed it. Jamie doesn't understand action at all.
Don't think I
and
want
getting
to.
back to the...
I almost spit my coffee out.
Getting back to the question, yes. As Carey likes to point out every time that I say that the Dodgers are a complete embarrassment, the Pirates are even worse. If they were to trade Paul Skeens...
look at the haul they could get for him.
The embarrassment is the Pirates and teams like that.
Not trying.
The teams in the basement. What was the overachievers? The stuck in the middle. What was the bottom one?
The Angels were the bottom
Angels
one.
were out. They weren't even in a box.
They
were in their own
by
category.
themselves.
Yeah.
They
But
didn't
the
have
Angels have tried.
Did they?
They've given a lot of big contracts out over the years. They just haven't been good.
And they've given the big contracts to the wrong players.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey, why not sign the pitcher?
They had one.
They had Ohtani.
They had Ohtani.
Well, he wanted to be a Dodger.
Who wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
You're
That's
crazy.
a lie.
That is a lie.
It's a lie.
The Dodgers call you right now. Yeah.
I'm in that stupid Dodger blue.
There you go. They call you right now.
Stupid Dodger blue.
I wouldn't be saying that if they're paying me. I'd say Dodger blue.
Wow. Skeens is definitely going to be somewhere else, though. Because his agent's going to push for it, too.
Baseball's a joke. Not the
So
sport.
you're mad.
Not the sport. Major League Baseball is.
You're mad at the teams that don't try. You're not mad at the Dodgers.
I'm mad at both. No,
Why would you be mad at the Dodgers
Let me
for
take it.
actually trying? Thank you.
I'm mad at Major League Baseball for allowing this crap and then force feeding its fans like, hey, we'll fix the game. We'll make the bases bigger. No, you sack of marbles. Why don't
Steam pile?
Why don't you steam and pile? You know what? Get a cap, get a floor.
It's just not going to
get
happen.
I know it's not going to happen. I know, but every single time we bring this up,
What the hell? It's like, he's literally
get the Nick Saban
definition of insanity.
Can we get the Nick
Jamie,
Saban?
I believe it was you yesterday asking for the same thing.
No, I said just get a floor.
He did say get a floor.
Which will never happen.
I know that too.
Why do you want a floor so bad?
So the teams have to. So it seems like the Pirates have to spend.
They have to actually pretend that they care.
You have to pretend that they care.
Yeah.
They don't. And they're letting you know.
Then get them out.
Don't you want to know who people are?
Then get them out.
I want to know who people are. I don't want you to pretend.
Then get them out.
Do we really want the NL Central to get better?
Get them out. Bring back the Expos.
Yeah, baby.
They'll try.
Youpie.
I'm serious.
Let's bring him back.
Yippee. A's, you don't want to be in Oakland? Fine, you don't exist anymore.
They do, though. They're the
just floating.
the Athletics.
They are a floating
They
team.
don't have
like a
they have a
traveling
city
carnival.
or a state to be in front.
We're
It's
here.
the A's.
Here for the weekend.
Next week, you'll have the A's in the parking lot of your local mall.
Seriously. They're not half bad either. The players aren't the problem.
Oh, man.
Like, somebody actually knows what they're doing in the A's front office. They do, because they're halfway decent. They're not even trying, and the team is halfway decent.
And
They'll fix that.
They'll fix it.
They'll acquire the right people.
They'll fix it.
They'll trade those good players. How
You're
dare they?
you're playing too damn hard. You gotta go.
You're
Out now.
All right, did we get 3 there, Mark?
We did.
All right. We'll continue our Sports Six Pack with part 2 next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry Davis for Genesis of St. Charles, and if you are in the market for a new vehicle, look no further. You can visit Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. You can stop in today for exclusive in-store offers. They have the largest selection of new Genesis models in stock and ready for you to take home today. Where are they located? Right off of Mid-Rivers Mall and Highway 70 in St. Peter's, Veterans Memorial Parkway. It's easy to get to. Let Genesis of St. Charles introduce you to the sweet life of benefits designed to exceed your expectations. If you go in, you don't see the model or the color you want, they can find it for you and help you build your dream Genesis. Genesis owners get complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. 24/7 luxury roadside assistance for 5 years, whether you need a tire change, transportation to the nearest Genesis retailer, gas, or more, they got you covered. And if you're busy, you got a busy schedule, you don't want to step in, you don't have to ever step foot in their store. You can buy your new Genesis entirely online with clear, upfront pricing, including your trade, and even have it delivered up to 100 miles from the dealership. All you need to do is visit them online at genesisofstcharles.com. Again, that's genesisofstcharles.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Part 2 of the Sports Six Pack next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and James Rivers and Anthony Stalter. Question 4, please, Marshy.
Question number 4.
These two guys to the left of me will love this question.
Good.
From the 816, if you could fight one person with no repercussions tomorrow, who are you fighting?
Oh, man.
Kerry's got a long list.
Only one?
Yeah.
Just one. It's like the slap. You only get one.
I'd probably have to keep mine. I don't know. I don't want to fight anymore, Jamie.
That's a lie. It's a lie.
I haven't had anybody really. You know what? I've gotten to the point in life where, other than road rage, when an idiot in a black pickup truck tries to cut me off.
That's a shame.
It's probably the last time I was irate.
I can hardly tell.
Like, I was pissed off. I wanted to.
Were you more mad about me cutting you off, slowing down, and or me laughing in your face as you were losing it?
It was the fact that you just kept getting in the way. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy?
What isn't
I
wrong
am
with this
going
guy?
to get out of this car and cause bodily harm to this person because he's being an idiot, and I don't want to do that. I don't have anybody that I want to punch in the face right now. I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Ask me in a couple of days. I don't know. It changes. A couple of hours.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think, and then I know now, like what I didn't know when I was younger, like when you punch people in the face now, they sue.
Yeah, but no repercussions. It says.
Oh!
Yeah, no repercussions.
No repercussions.
Okay, well, I'll find somebody later on today.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like a couple of easy targets for me. I think you know who they are. There's Mike Keenan, Mike Babcock. Those would be fun. But would they really? Like,
hey, they're
really a
older.
Fight. Like, it's not like
they're older.
I got to the point now where I can't stand Mike Keenan, but like to punch him in the face, like it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have anybody that I want to punch in the face today.
I'm sure I could think of somebody, but especially with no repercussions. I feel like I better take advantage of it.
Oh, come on, guys. Just say it.
Nah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
You have rage.
Yeah, he does.
Like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, who would I want to punch in the face?
See,
right
it's
now?
not that easy.
Aaron Rodgers.
Punch Aaron Rodgers. It might be my quarterback. You want to punch him?
That's my quarterback.
Trevor Bauer.
Oh, wow. A lot of people would
Dave
be happy.
Matthews.
Dave Matthews.
Why would you want to
probably
punch
a really
Dave
nice
Matthews
guy
in the face?
What
What's
do you
he
want to
done
like break
to
his
you?
guitar or something?
What has he done to me? Are
What
you
has he done
serious?
to you? For real.
You're kidding me, right?
You have the option
My
of not
ears
listening
bleed.
to his music.
Well, it's on all the time. It's on our station.
Think it's still available.
That should be one of the punishments.
Some sponsors like, why is one of your hosts
tickets?
punching Dave Matthews in the face?
Yeah, I mean, the
Would you
people I
lose
want
it
to
if you
punch
had
in
to
the
sit there for an entire concert?
Oh yeah.
Would you?
It's the only music that makes me angry outside of musicals. Like musicals make me so angry. Dave Matthews, it hits the earlobes and I'm like, this is, I just want to punch something.
Yeah, I don't have any today.
Got 487 musical instruments trying to blend into one song, Marsh. And everybody's like, it's beautiful, isn't it? No. It's putrid.
Yeah, turn on your listening ears, Anthony.
You don't like it either.
I don't know it.
It's not my first choice, but I'm not punching him in the face for it. That's fine. So, I don't know. Anyways, the question, there's a couple of people I'd like to punch in the face, but I don't feel like it would be like very nice.
Yeah, I don't get Trevor Bauer's annoying.
Old people, like, come on. Carey, you have no problem. You got problems with old people.
You know what? Well, I'll save it for later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like, well, why Trevor Bauer? He didn't do anything wrong. I'm not talking about the incident. I'm talking about I don't like him. I think he's smug. I think he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. Constantly. Read up on it.
There's like 5 hitters in the world that can get a base hit off of him.
Right.
And they're typically in the lineup the day that he plays.
Right.
Or pitches.
But he's a smart. Thank you, Marsh. He thinks he's a genius.
Is he like
he's better? Let me say
baseball.
Let me say something about Bauer.
About goaltending than anyone in the world.
He's better.
studies more than anybody.
Trevor Bauer is better that he's not pitching because everybody on every team that needs pitching is like, what about Trevor Bauer? He has become the pitching equivalent of if Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson, and Roger Clemens were all mixed up into some sort of Russian test tube. And that's Trevor Bauer right now.
Why Russian test tube?
He's better when he's not pitching.
Winter Soldier thing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
From Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fine. You asked me a question. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. You give me the side eye now.
I just didn't know if you were done yet, Anthony.
You know, you're looking at CD. You're like, well, what's this guy talking about? You asked the question. What about you, Anthony?
I didn't ask it.
I just gave it to you.
The text line asked that.
We got a text from 618.
You asked me. What about you, Anthony?
Oh, Anthony.
And I gave it to you.
I'm punching you in the face in a minute.
The 618 says Dave Matthews would kick your ass.
Highly doubt it.
Oh, rough and rowdy. Call Portnoy.
Oh, man.
That is coming from somebody. That is coming from somebody.
Would you fight him?
Dave Matthews?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
I don't even know what
Cage
Dave
match or
Matthews
boxing?
looks like.
Boxing.
I got to Google.
Boxing?
It's a real person, right? It's not just the name of the
I
band.
think you'd be better in a cage match.
That person that just texted in is just coming off of some sort of five like city tour of Dave Matthews concert. I hurt his feelings. That's what just happened there.
Let's see. Dave Matthews.
He's so popular. That band.
He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
It probably is.
Stick to the boxing then.
He's probably studied like everything.
Oh, man.
Knows how to kill a man with his thumbs.
Been trained to kill a man 10 different ways.
He just fights for fun now.
He's like, oh,
For people that hate
some
Dave
guy
Matthews.
named Stalter in St. Louis wants to fight.
I hear him running my mouth. He's probably a trained killer. By the way, I thought he was funny in the one Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, what was that?
It was with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Just go with it.
Yes. He was hilarious. I found him.
Is it just go with it, or is
I
it
think it's just go with it.
or is it the murder mystery?
No. It was just go with it. I found him very likable. Very
he wasn't
likable.
playing music.
Right.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I'll tell you later.
Is he trained?
I don't know.
Is he trained?
I'll tell you later.
Is he like a Marine?
I'll tell you in a minute.
I take it back. I love his music.
What's it say?
Oh, boy. No.
All right, never mind. I love it. I'll just read these two guys'
Speculation, of course.
his face.
I think we end on that one.
Yep. Let's go. Keep the feet moving.
Oh, okay.
Good luck, Anthony.
Are we still in the six-pack or no?
Yeah, we're done now.
Yeah, we're done.
Okay.
We got to end on. I need to know what is going on. All right. And the quicker we get to that, the quicker I can find out.
Are the Cards sustainable, what they're doing? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Arizona Diamondbacks tomorrow night as Miles Michaelis will take the mound for the Redbirds going up against Zach Gallen. First pitch on Apple TV Plus is at 7:15 tonight. On 101 ESPN, you can listen to Game 2 of the NHL Eastern Conference Final. It is the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers, with the Panthers leading that series 1-0. If you have missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Chris Kerber, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Now that the Cardinals have dropped 2 of 3 to the Tigers, they still feel as though they're everything is sustainable. Do you guys feel as though that the Cards are a team that is built to have sustained success this season? Or do you think that it's just kind of favorable matchups, short-term overperformance?
I don't feel it's the latter because they've played some pretty good teams during this span, and they've won. So I don't think it's just like, oh, they're playing crappy teams, the old Cardinals way, play the bottom teams and win your games there.
Right.
I don't feel like that's been the case. And I do feel it's sustainable because I feel like they're building this off of the right foundation. You know, they're getting good pitching. Are they getting great pitching? I don't know, but they're getting good pitching, and they're getting outstanding team defense.
Yeah.
So built off of that, you know, and the fact that their offense has been clicking too. You look here, they're plus 40, the run differential. Last year, we kept laughing because they were the minus 40, minus 30. Like, we kept saying there's no way they can make a playoff run if they have a run differential like that. Well, they're sitting here at plus 40 right now. So I think the way they're playing is sustainable. Does that mean they're a playoff team? That I don't know.
Sustainable in terms of, I think it's sustainable. I think that they've proven that they've gotten better in multiple facets of the game. Even this year alone, they've gotten better with the bullpen. The only concern, I think, we were talking about some of the numbers for the starting pitchers yesterday. That could be a concern. The fact that Sonny Gray has 10 starts and has allowed 9 home runs. We've seen games where he's given up 4 of those. And it can get bad quickly. So I think it's sustainable, but I think it depends. I think we got to start with the starting pitchers. They have to continue to play at a high level. I know Palante's numbers are maybe a little deceiving. I think he's done pretty good, but I think it can shift quickly if they don't take care of everything. But I think it is sustainable as long as the starting pitching continues to do what they do.
Yeah, I think for me, it kind of goes back to the opening segment when we talked about whether or not the Tigers showed us how far the Cardinals are from being a contender, or maybe how close they are. Can you explain it, right? Can you explain the wins? I think we can. The fact that they've got, a staff ERA right now, not just the starters, but a staff ERA of 4.31. And some of their underlying, 3.73 ERA for the staff, 3.65 FIP, 4.06 expected FIP. These are all excellent metrics when it comes to the pitching staff. Offensively, they have more than just one way to beat you. They manufacture runs, they move runners over. They do a great job of taking the extra base. Victor Scott, I mean, if he gets on base, good luck trying to keep him from scoring. Yeah. I mean, it's just remarkable what he has brought to the lineup. Speaking of the lineup, it's got great length right now. Jordan Walker's starting to come around a little bit, but you almost feel like you're nitpicking the offense when you just highlight Jordan Walker's performance or just highlight, Nolan Gorman when he's in there. The defense is outstanding. I have yet to see a team win a World Series with bad defense. Mm-hmm. When you get to the postseason, and hopefully the Cardinals, that's the trajectory they're on. But when you get to the postseason, you cannot commit errors. Teams that do usually get bounced, either fairly quickly or they don't wind up winning the key series, which is the World Series. I love the defense. I love how they've come together. I love that, too, that they're establishing a new floor, right? The floor is young players that are performing well, coming together, got a few bright spots we didn't see coming, like Matthew Liberatore, and they got some aging veterans that are still bringing a lot to the table, too, whether it's Nolan Arenado defensively or Wilson Contreras both.
I think, and I don't know if you agree with that, with my thought process on it, the sustainability depends on the starting pitching.
Yeah.
Like I think we've seen the lineup kind of have their ups and downs. They started out red hot, and then they kind of cooled off a little bit there in mid-April, and then now they're starting to be what we thought they were at the beginning of the season. The bullpen has gotten a lot better from the start of the season. We probably would be in first place had the bullpen been what it is right now. But the starting pitching, like knowing every 5 days what you're getting from those guys. Are you going to get 6 innings? Are you going to get 7 innings? Or is it going to be 4 1/3? Like, that to me is the most important part of the sustainability of this team. And it starts with Sonny Gray, and it just carries Matthew Liberatore and all of those guys performing well. And when they do, they kind of feed off one another and they play well. So, I think it starts with them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And for me, it's not just a rotation that's able to eat innings, because, we talk about eat innings. They have to be good innings. Because if they're just trying to eat innings, but you're losing every game because you're stretching out a pitcher who shouldn't be pitching anymore, that's not really good.
They made it to the 8th. You gave up 8 runs.
Yeah, but you help the bullpen out.
It's only 1 per inning.
No, but based on what Carey's saying, I agree, too, that the rotation is the most important part, because if the rotation is not good, then it's more stress on your bullpen. And we've seen that in the last couple of years where the bullpen gets too much stress, they get burnt out, they're fried, and then there's no coming back from that. So it's essential that the Cardinals keep getting good innings from their rotation, and at least, for me, getting to 6. 7 would be great. Of course, 8. Fetty.
Complete game.
You got to complete the unicorn. You got the unicorn. But if you get 6 to 7 innings from your rotation, your bullpen's not stressed, and now you're handpicking who's pitching in that game, not forced to have a guy.
Or they're mixing in some of these games. We talked about this before. They're mixing in some of these games where they're up 8 runs or they're up 7 runs.
Now you're throwing a guy that he just needs to get a little bit of work out there.
Exactly. It's not high leverage situations you're constantly asking every single pitcher to step into, which was a problem in April.
Oh, yeah.
Part of the reason why you faltered in April is because you only played in close games. Maybe your starter goes out there and pitches well, but you had no offense in the game, and now you're relying on a bullpen to either keep you in it or not lose it. And we saw even Ryan Helsley blow some saves in April. But now you are getting some blowout wins. You're not stressing every single game. It looks good.
On the flip side of that, for me as well, and I'm sure you guys will agree, it's a very obvious statement, but the flip side of that is the Cardinals have to stay healthy. Like, we're getting a nice run here of Lars Nootbaar playing really good baseball.
Oh, boy.
What, do you think he just ruined it?
What did I do?
Did he ruin you?
We're getting a good run of Wilson Contreras. He doesn't have a broken arm this year.
Yeah, well.
All right. I'll shut up.
I think
I was just stating the obvious.
Well, I think the issue that Anthony has is
one.
Or he's got multiple issues, but the issue on this topic, this topic, I think. Sorry that you feel that way. I think the particular issue that he had with this topic is that
you were
talking about Lars, who has been very damn healthy, and so when you said this season, when you said that, I think Anthony feels like he believes in the announcer jinx, and even though we're not technically announcers, but you say something on the airwaves, you know how that goes.
Okay.
Him and Marshy are
well,
They're kind of
How about we just
superstitious in
say
that way.
blanket statement? A healthy Cardinals team has more opportunity to remain a winning Cardinals team.
I like the way you phrase that, Jamie. I wish it was 45 seconds ago that you phrased it that way, but nonetheless.
You know what? I corrected it for you.
And Bacon Wrap Wiener said it perfectly. Once this team starts stealing more bases, they'll feel like the old 80s teams.
That's right. That's right, BWW.
They need to go sign Vince Coleman.
I don't know if he'll be able to do it. He might be able to.
Probably better than a few of them.
Yeah.
Dotem Golf Tournament with the morning after returns next Thursday and Friday at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Friday's foursomes are already sold out, and remaining spots for next Thursday are filling up fast. Get your foursome together for a full day on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive competition courtesy of Pondos Anonymous Recovery Podcast, as well as an after party with food from Texas Roadhouse on Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. A portion of the proceeds will support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. The Dotem is refreshed by Michelob Ultra. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. We'll come back, wrap up the show with what we learned, criticisms and compliments, and 3 stars of the day next in the Fast Lane. You could go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Underdog is the leading place to make all your sports selections, and you can play now in our state here in Missouri. Their app has over 100K 5-star reviews and millions of players. Playing on Underdog is absolutely easy. Just choose whether or not a player in a matchup that you like will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose things like home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. And here's the best part. You don't have to just stick with baseball either. You could choose a Cardinals player one night and then hop over and look at maybe the Stars and the Oilers matchup and choose a player in that game to go higher or lower on points, goals, assists, and also add maybe an NBA player or a UFL player if the Battlehawks happen to be playing that night. Once your entry feels good, you can play for as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, all courtesy of Underdog. But you do have to download the Underdog app and sign up with my promo code, Anthony. That's it. My first name, Anthony, to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, that promo code is Anthony at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. listening to 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or on the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today, starting out with Jamie Rivers.
I learned today that although you have teammates who support you tremendously, they also enjoy watching your failure. Found that out today in the Gauntlet as Carey was tickled to death that I lost to Jim today. Well, and basically tap danced on my grave.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I learned that some teammates, when they don't win, they get angry. And then they just say things as you're leaving the studio, as you're coming back in the studio. You're just taking shots at people. And you're just like, wow, I don't think that was called for. But, you know,
right, Kerry.
Some teammates are just built that way.
I didn't think it was called for that. You laughed when I lost.
I learned that some teammates will throw you under the bus,
Anthony,
but then will also decide to not count something if one person forgets that it happened.
A lot of bad teammating today.
I learned that one teammate decided just to bring up a player that he didn't even believe would have an impact in the 2025 NFL season just because he wanted to get me riled up. As long as we're all projecting, as long as we're all helping each other out here, why not just bring up that? Now, Marsh, what do you have for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, so at the beginning of the show, Jamie, you talked about a story about a Rolex watch. Kerry, you talked about a story about a fake Rolex watch that you didn't care that was fake. It was
Tijuana?
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the border.
And then we're like, hey, maybe we can all get some Rolex watches, right? The 618 says you guys can't even get invited to that golf tournament for your own station.
That's a great point.
How do you expect to be supplied with Rolex watches?
Great points. Yeah,
That's a good point.
You understand, don't you?
No.
Is it
Understand our pain.
Is it the tournament, the station, or TMA that's responsible for that?
Yes.
I would say TMA.
Okay.
No, I say yes.
I saw Doug Vaughn today in the break room.
Did he know who you were?
I said, "Hey, Doug, how you doing?" He
Like,
goes,
what's your name again?
He goes, "Hey."
He said, "Hey,
What's your
Marty,
name?
I think you do a great job on WIL."
Hey, Nick Sirianni's here.
Can we get you on the show next week, Nick?
I just say, "Hey, how are you?" So, didn't mention my name. Pretty sure you still don't know who I am.
Call him Martin one day. Hey, Martin. Hey, Martin.
Doug's a nice guy. Very nice guy.
We got a text from the 314. I listen / watch every day. Love the show. Wish I could hear what you all say during the break.
Not if you want us to keep our jobs.
It's funny, I'll tell you that much.
You guys are hilarious.
You
especially this one.
are
Here.
really hilarious, Kerry, especially when those mics, I mean, both on and off air.
This guy here.
Oh, he says some stuff, doesn't
That's
he?
why Marshy has the delay.
Yep.
3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2,
and
1. All right.
1.
Yep.
Even that's close sometimes.
Marsh is keeping Jamie's
Oh, don't act like it's just
job.
me. Don't act like it's just me. Carey, you can't let him do that.
What?
Oh, God. Here we go. Bad teammates again. Here we go.
Typically.
You know,
Finish how you start.
You know, honestly, that attitude, I don't even want you here tomorrow.
All
I
right.
told you
Don't come back tomorrow.
what most of
Go cool off.
what most of your stories start off with, your personal stories. And I'm right.
That's
He's
one time
not
at
wrong.
church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There I was in church.
And
Come on, see you next one. Okay.
Okay.
Here.
Bacon Wrapped Wiener says, y'all are funny.
Thank you.
Funny looking.
Yeah, whatever.
Bacon Wrapped Wiener's really into our looks. I've noticed that.
Yeah, he has a Tanner picture for his.
Yeah.
is that who he is? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Kinda creepy looking.
He'll take shots at our faces, our physiques, things like that. I've noticed that with Bacon. Yeah. Really into it.
Jamie's being compared to the next BKO.
Anthony did
sense.
that.
I didn't do that.
You did that with your reaction.
I didn't say.
Carey didn't do that.
Thank you.
Carey's a much better teammate.
Now, Carey, what time are you getting in tomorrow?
I'm going to be here tomorrow.
There it is. How do you like him now?
I won't be here tomorrow.
I like him fine. I think
a great day.
I'm happy for him to have a day off.
Jamie was upset, and he told me to take the rest of the day off.
I said, get
tomorrow.
Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out. Don't come back till Tuesday.
Don't you go back.
He goes, I'm an elephant. I'm an elephant man.
Oh, boy.
That's not true.
That's not true. We don't know.
You're a good-looking person.
Don't really know.
I've never seen you.
Just don't know. Like, he's got Tanner's picture. Like, I don't have to tell you. If that's an upgrade.
Tanner, take a shot.
Really, Jamie?
Tanner, what did T-Bone do?
Nothing. I don't think T-Bone approved his picture being used.
Okay.
I don't know, Anthony.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
What's your problem?
How long have you got?
He doesn't know, man. He doesn't know.
Third star of the day goes out to the Rolex watch.
Yeah.
Fake or not.
Yes.
We love a good Rolly.
Nobody knows.
Hey, that's what the kids are saying these days.
I heard it one time in a song.
You did.
Second star of the day goes out to Jamie's tenure in the penalty box.
Yeah, that was awesome. Awful.
And, of course, our first star of the day goes out to Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
And Mike Ryder.
Mike Ryder.
Oh, yeah.
He had so much spite for Anthony. He just went right over
Mike Ryder's birthday. He's 40.
Yeah. You were
saying it everything. I pointed. I thought for sure.
Dave Matthews Band.
I thought it was Willie Mays Hayes.
Mike Ryder. Happy birthday, Ryder. Happy birthday. So, tonight, Hurricanes, Panthers.
Yes.
Game 2. Pre-game at 6:30. So we'll have instant replay from 6 to 6:30. And then Hurricanes, Panthers game 2. Pre-game, and the puck will drop at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a good matchup. Mm-hmm. Going to be a good game. I say 4-2 game.
Panthers?
He doesn't care.
4-2.
He doesn't care. See, he's the bad
For
team.
Andrew Marsh,
Again.
for Kerry Davis and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.